Good morning, traders. What's going on out there, guys? Who's ready to get right back into the hot seat? And you guys know it. You guys see the market moving right now, and Money Mitch is catching a trend that most are missing. Yes, I know crypto stocks are going to the moon, but are you paying attention to the AI stocks today? Yes, I'm calling those out because if you were up early, yes, you had to get up early to buy Nvidia today. And I felt like this was as easy as a trade as it gets, man. You have to get up early sometimes when you have these kind of earnings reports. And that's one of the great advantages, of course, that Trade the Pool gives you. We did get some economic data to come in just a second ago. Philly Fed manufacturing at negative 5.5 versus a 6.3 estimate, prior being 10.3. We did get a continuous jobless claims to come in at 1.908 versus a 1.872 expected. Of course, those are in the thousands. So a little bit of a jump there in continuous jobless claims. Also, a little bit of a down move, though, in initial jobless claims as 213 versus a 220 estimate. We're not seeing any spike in that, and now you're seeing a jump here. And I think you got to continue to watch this. We also got mentions at 7:30 from Financial Times reporting that Richmond's Fed Barklin said that he expects inflation to continue dropping across the U.S. So all positive signs in the market right now, and we are seeing the strength that's coming from this. You guys are seeing Nvidia rip almost to 150 now. And this morning, if you were up at 4 a.m., and that's what I'm going to say it right there, 4 a.m. was the spot to get it at, guys. You could have been getting this at 139.80 or 140s, and now cashing in $8, 6% higher. This is why it's so important to stop being sleeping in and staying up late, waking up early, and getting that money, guys. That's who wins, guys. A lot of the times, the guys that are winning aren't the guys just staying up till 12 watching videos on YouTube. It's the guys waking up early and getting after the market. Let's get to, of course, today's playbook action. We'll get to the sunrise report. We got a lot for you guys. And also today, I'll be joined, of course, by someone from Trade Ideas. If you guys have wanted to know a little bit more about Trade Ideas, stick around. There's someone that's just going to come on in a little while. You don't want to miss out. That's going to be around 10:15. We'll talk a little bit more about scanners and things like that you guys can look into by using Trade Ideas. And it's a great conversation because there's one thing that I want to talk about also. I did have a kind of a red day in the limited account. It's already a red day. It was a small penny stock, but really what it was a matter of missing a trade that I'm going to talk to you guys about. And we're going to start getting a little bit better on these. The key there is scanners, and that's what we'll bring up with Trade Ideas coming up. All right, let's kick it off, guys. Let's get to today's playbook action and see what possibly we could be going after. All right, playbook one, guys. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about it. QUBT. You guys know I was all over this stock yesterday and really wanted to trade it. Didn't get the trade and was frustrated because the trade moved and happened right when I was going to start the show. Of course, that's the hardest time to trade because, hey guys, I'm here by myself. I don't got no one else to help me, right? At least run the show. So with that being said, sometimes I'm going to miss these types of trades, but rewind the tape, even show the beginning of yesterday's show. The first thing I mentioned was this stock. Why? Because I was looking for that break of 3, and boy, oh boy, did we get it. We got that break of 3. It kind of went sideways off that 3, then really took off to the 350, went to the 370s, now up there towards 378 and 4. This is one that I would call out as being one of the ones that I'll be watching for continued move. And why? Because the daily chart tells me too, right? The daily chart is looking really good here. Could still pull back to 350s, but if it holds that area, we're looking good for a run into 4 today. We'll see what happens. This QUBT looking really good right now. And what is this in? This is a quantum computing space. And of course, watch for IonQ to stay hot also. So you guys see IonQ, ripping right now, going towards the 29s. And this is a nice little push. It's about 50 cents higher. So I think we're having a big bullish day. And let's keep it going because some of these playbooks are already going to be moving by the time I get to it. So let's go. Let's move. Let's move. ETHU, you guys know I've been all over this looking for Ethereum to run. And this morning, boy, did it run. And I tell you guys, I don't like to cherry pick. That's why I brought this stock up yesterday. And look at it now, guys. It got all the way up there to 875. This is ridiculous. This morning, it was trading down there by 780s, 790s. Took off there now, guys. Got all the way to 875. That's a big run. And where could you guys have gotten this? Only on my Twitter, guys. So I was able to at least give you guys the mention this morning. But that's only if you're following me. Like always, guys, at moneymitch_TTP for Trade the Pool, of course. And you guys can see Ethereum getting a big move here. Really nice call. I put it out there this morning when it was at 780s. It's now 875s and above. So we'll see what happens with that one. Big rip. Let's go to the last one here, which I already think will also be down. And it was already a good trade to maybe take a shot on it, which was the VIX short. And we'll take a look at the action. It hasn't dropped too much since I looked at it. When I was looking at this, I was watching it at around 6 a.m. It's starting to drop. It's down about $1 from that spot there. I'll show you guys the chart here. VXX starting to come down. And this is what I'm looking at, guys. Mainly what I'm watching is this weekly. Take a look at the weekly on the VXX. We tried to get back up there to 60. Now we're gone on the gap down. Well, not really a gap down, but a really hard hit down. Now we're kind of like hanging out here. We came back to the 9 EMA, and now we could really flush back down through this 45 spot. So that's what I'll be watching for on the cut down on the VIX. Can we get down there towards the 45 today? I think it's in play. So this is one trade that you can definitely watch. And I got an extra one here for you guys, a bonus play, one that was mentioned yesterday. So I got to give a shout out to someone, whoever really caught this first move here. And that's going to be, of course, on a bonus play of what? AI, and we'll talk a lot about AI names today. This is already getting the move, so you got to be careful, but look at the action just right now. Look at the chart. The chart's looking prime right here on AI, so I'll call out a couple of names with this, and I'll give you guys a couple more, right? I always try to give you guys names and themes that you guys can follow. AI here, C3 AI, really getting a nice little push. Could keep running here. Another one here for you guys. Quantum computing, of course, can go higher. QUBT, that's one that I'll be watching. But what about Tempest? Tempest AI, TEM. And of course, we saw this one kind of rip when it started to come out. It pulled back, took another rip, now has been kind of hanging out here, could take another rip higher. And of course, this one loves to run. It's an AI name. And we can take a look, of course, like I mentioned, NVIDIA. I could see this thing ripping through 150. It was just a shakeout yesterday, and it shook out a lot of bulls, and now the bulls get stomped. This is why the institutionals win a lot of the times on a name like NVIDIA versus a name, a retail trader like you and I, because we'll probably get scared out of that trade yesterday with the down action on a good quarter. Well, there you guys have it. What happened this morning? Well, the institutions came in with their buying shoes on, and that red line that you see here, that was a really technical area that they bought this morning, and now look where the stock is. Now when you go to trade it, don't you feel like you're chasing the name if you're going to go and trade NVIDIA today? I still don't think you're chasing it because you could still see NVIDIA push higher, maybe 155, 160 by the end of the day. But I do think that, yeah, this is exactly how they do it to you. This is how institutionals kind of stuff retail traders. So a lot of traders won't talk about this, but yeah, this is exactly how those traders do it to you. And NVIDIA getting a nice little move to the upside. All right, we'll catch up some comments in the chat. You guys out there, do me a favor, guys. We got to get some more people in here. Definitely, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's maybe we gotta adjust a little bit of the titles or something, because I'm seeing a little bit of some low viewers right now. Do me the favor, guys. I feel like I work way too hard for you guys not to hit the like button, not to hit the subscribe, but especially hit that share button down below. We're going to go move over now to the sunrise report, but we got to get some more people in here. Hit that like, hit the share button, and let's keep things going. All right, it's good to see you guys out there. Eli, what's going on, man? Where's everybody at? Wake up out there, guys. Money to be made, that's for sure. All right, let's keep it going. Let's get to the sunrise report and take a look what we got today up our sleeve. All right, team, let's get it started and talk a little bit, of course, about this NVIDIA report. And good morning to everyone. Let's dive into, of course, the top stories of this morning. NVIDIA's, of course, post-earnings slump. Yeah, it wasn't a slump, but let's talk about it, of course. It was down this morning, but what happened? Because it was a blockbuster quarter, right? Revenue at a whopping $35 billion, up 94% year over year. Well above those estimates. But here's the kicker. Investors are still underwhelmed. Why? Because of the growth. That's what they were pointing at last night. Growth is slowing. Previous quarters saw triple-digit surges, 122%, 262%, even 265%. But this quarter, strong, yet not as explosive. Right? So NVIDIA's slump is dragging other chip makers this morning, and it was holding back like Intel, Qualcomm, AMD that were all off more than 1%. But now with this recent rally, I could expect for those names to be the ones that start to also get the strength underneath this NVIDIA move. So pay attention, guys, to see what happens there. But here's what stands out. CEO Hung said that the demand for the next-gen Blackwell chip is off the charts. So is this a buying opportunity, or are we seeing the beginning of market fatigue? I think this is a buying opportunity that we really got to pay attention to, because I think we're moving into what's called AI 2.0. Why? Because of deregulation coming in with Trump. Everyone's expecting Trump to pretty much let it all go and fly. So as long as it can create growth, I think that you look at those areas as they're going to get a lift. Why? Because he's not going to be pressing the brake pedal on just about anything. That's the way I feel. He's going to be pressing the gas pedal on this economy. So if you're looking for things to kind of grow, well, that's where I think things could really take off, right? Because if there's deregulation or no regulation in AI, which could be the move, right? Not even deregulation, just no regulation. That's what could really kind of push these AI stocks higher, because if they start to, just do things whichever way they want, they can really start pushing on that bottom line. Let's go to the second one here on the Sunrise Report. We'll talk a little bit more about Google here. And this is a little bit back and forth here with the DOJ. It's hard to kind of trade Google right now because of all this situation. And this was holding back Google, I feel. If not, Google would probably take that 200. DOJ taking aim at Google, of course. Google is back in the hot seat as the Department of Justice wants the tech giant to sell off the Chrome browser. Why? Because they say that Chrome gives Google an unfair edge in search and ad market. And it's 100% true. I mean, I got to be honest, right? Let's just be real. Are they really having an unfair edge in search and ad markets? Yes, they are. But the only question is, how much will the DOJ step in here and keep kind of stomping on these big boys, right? So this move, of course, comes after the judge ruled in August that Google holds a monopoly in search. Yes, it holds a monopoly in search. Come on, guys. The DOJ wants to level the playing field, ensuring that Google's search engine doesn't get preferential treatment in its own ecosystem. And that's exactly what happens, right? So like if you want to go ahead and use anything on Google, what they're going to do is they're going to force you to go to Chrome, right? They don't let you go to Explorer and then try to use that, right? So that's something to think about, a DOJ situation with Google, of course. All right, we'll see what happens with that conversation. I don't think this is anything that's going to be moving, let's say, this week or anything, but something to look at. Let's go to the third one here as we talk a little bit about McDonald's. Yeah, did you guys see Trump and Elon eating at McDonald's? So I don't know about that, but I don't know if they were ready, and did they buy the value meal? That's what I'm wondering, because that's what's being talked about today. McDonald's is doubling down on affordability for 2025. The $5 meal deal that rolled out this summer is sticking around for at least the first half of next year. And here's the twist. Operators are now voting on a new deal, a buy one, add one for $1 option on some of these value deals. So, hey, we'll see what happens. It's all about, of course, keeping the customer coming back for those wallet-friendly meals. And let's be honest, in this economy, who's saying no to a $5 Big Mac combo? Yeah, the truth is, $5 meal in any place right now, We'll take it, guys. We'll take it. All right, let's move over to the last story of the Sunrise Report this morning. We'll talk a little bit about Snowflake. And Snowflake is soaring here on their earnings. And Snowflake has been one that has been a retail favorite, just hasn't gotten the love. Now it's starting to pop. Their Q3 earnings crushed expectations here. Revenues hit $942 million, up 28%. Year over year. The earnings per share came in at 20 cents, beating the 15-cent forecast. What's more is that they raised the full year guidance and announced some exciting partnerships, including one with Anthropic, the AI startup backed by Amazon. And I love Anthropic and I love Claude. All those AIs are actually really good. It's not ChatGPT. But here's the big question. Snowflake is down 35% year to date. Does this earnings beat mark the start of a comeback? I think it is. I think you're starting to see that comeback in Snowflake. Or is this just a short-term bounce? Those are the questions that investors will be asking themselves about Snowflake. I think this is the start of that comeback, but we all need to keep our eyes open for it. All right, that's going to be our rundown for today on the Sunrise Report. I hope you guys enjoyed the Sunrise Report. And like always, you guys can catch this on our Discord. If you're not a part of our Discord, definitely join it so that you guys can get the full rundown of the Sunrise Report. And like always, we like to also get this out on Twitter. I'll be tuning in to see how much that's getting out there. But the truth is, where can you guys get this? Right here, TTT Live, and always on our Discord. Smash the like. Let's go ahead and kick things off. It's time to get the show started. Let's go out there, guys. I'm ready to go trading, and you guys know where you're at. It's TTP Live.
Wants 200, baby.
You ready to get back to the trading action?
You aim, you shoot, and make money.
It's going to be a great day. You guys know where you're at. Up out there, traders. Let's get to the trading action. It's going to be another beautiful day here. And man, I'm ready to go ahead and get to the trading action, guys. I will say one thing. We will be looking around to see what happens with the monster that is Nvidia, and it is strong as ever. Take a look, guys, this morning. Nvidia ripping, guys, ripping. So really making a move here. Sorry about the extra Mitch there. But let me go ahead and bring in here the gainers and losers also to kind of fill in that spot there. There you guys have it. So Nvidia making a big push there. We'll see if this can continue to climb. Can it get to 150 today? I'll be watching for it. I'm ready to trade in the main account. Like I mentioned in the smaller account, took a hit this morning. But a big part of that is just not being kind of aware of my scanners. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit more about my penny stock strategy that does work. It's just more, can I pay attention enough in the mornings? Because I'm also getting all the news and things like that. And it just takes some of my attention away. If I was just focused solely on the scanner every single morning, I think I could kill it in these pennies. But that's the hard part. Can I just stay focused on them? The truth is, I kind of have to get ready for the show and kind of get value for you guys. So I have to understand that sometimes it's going to be kind of a miss because of that, because I'm not catching my scanner because I'm reading news and looking around. All right, just give me 1 second here, guys. I'll be right back with you guys, and we'll take a look to see what's going on here in NVIDIA. All right, traders. Sorry about that. I was boiling in that dolphin sweater, but we'll see what happens out there. It's supposedly cold outside, but I haven't been able to go outside yet. So we'll see what happens there, guys. NVIDIA continuing to climb this morning. We'll take a look at different names. AI is one I'm definitely watching. It just pulled back to the 33s, went to 32.60 on that pullback, hit the VWAP. This is looking pretty good for another rally, especially towards the gate. I'll be watching C3 AI to see if it wants to keep running. NVIDIA with the big move. NVDA can be another way that you can play this. And I was watching these this morning, guys, at like 5 a.m. I didn't get up at 4. I was up at like 4:30, 5 a.m. looking at this, and I could see it starting to climb back here. Definitely should have taken the trade in the morning. But the truth is, guys, it's just tough here also because I'm taking care of my boys in the morning, and I'd be stuck here looking for that trade. But last night, especially seeing the action, I was like, well, you just got to come in the morning and look to see if they come in buying. And that's exactly what happened. Institutionals getting the action in the morning, and it was an early buy. And into the close, it was also that kind of buy. You see all this volume at 4 a.m.? This is your institutional action, guys. This right here. So right here in the morning, they were filling in. And then when they got back above here towards the breakout above kind of the high of the after hours action, you got more volume to come in and do what? Buy, man. They were buying. They had their buying shoes today on NVIDIA. And now look at it. Big move there. And of course, that's what you want to be looking for. Signs like that to tell you that, yeah, they're coming in there and buying it up. You can see the same thing on just pure NVIDIA's chart. You can see that buying in this morning as they were buying towards the later part of the hours in the like 8 p.m. and towards 4 a.m. But you got to get up early. That's when the market's open. That's when you got to get ready to take that trade. All right, what's going on out there in the chat? Time to catch up with some chat comments out here. I'm seeing a lot mentioned out there. The camera's a little bit far from me today. Let me zoom in a little bit so I can read all this. All right, what's going on out there, guys? Steph out already, took a hit on SPAI, bad execution, too much size. Yeah, Steph, it happened to me on the limited account here. I'll show you it, Steph, so you can see it. It happens to everybody, man. Look here. You guys see it down 293 there on this account here on Works. Got caught on Works earlier. But like I mentioned, on the scanners, guys, it's so important to be quick action because my scanner does pretty well. And I use one that I'm using through Benzinga, right? And it picks up stocks like this one, CTV. Moving right now. So CTV just picked up, right? And so this is what I mean by like coming 1 minute late, the difference is so important. So like a stock like this, I would want to be buying it at $2, right? This stock just went to 280s. So why am I buying it at $2? Well, because the profit to loss ratio is 80 cents to the upside and maybe what? 30 cents on the downside. And that's if it breaks the whole thing. I'd risk like 20 cents on this, which is about 10%. Looking for a move about 80 cents is 40%. So what is that? A 4-to-1 outlook. It's so important to catch moves like this, guys. And I think it's something that we can definitely look into. Good morning, Jay Angelo. How we doing? What about BBAI? I'll take a look at it, Vic. Just give me 1 second. We'll see what happens out there. Trade, what's moving? Use daily gapper scanner. Start at 4 a.m. No brainer. Short every day almost. Short. Took me TRNR short at 718 at 586 to 430s. Yeah, it's not a bad way to trade these fast movers also because they do come up and down. I don't think you're wrong in that you could say that you could short stocks like TRNR, but I could also catch this run, right? It's both ways, I feel like. Sometimes you will get a continuous runner though. And shorting day one runners, it works, but when it doesn't work, you got to make sure that you get out because you can easily get destroyed. ETHU, what a move today, guys. That thing is absolute monster. SPAI also up there to 639, and I can see it moving in the early morning hours also. These are the ones that I'm telling you guys. My nice area to watch for these moves is around like 630. 630. Look at this one's right around 7. So if you come in around 630, that's going to be probably your best shot to try to catch some of these penny runners. But yeah, it looks great to see you guys mentioning different names in the chat, and we'll take a look at it. BBAI, let's see if it's already getting a little lift here. Big bear AI holdings. Yeah, it's already pushing strong, right? I can tell you guys these AI names, they're all over the place, and you got to continue to watch for them. This is one that I'd look for, maybe a pullback back towards $2, but it's already lifting here. Maybe it's just a gap and go, right, where it just takes off here and starts to really make the move here. We'll see what happens. It is starting to push, especially if you can hold this kind of Tuesday level of 206 on the pullback. You're looking good this morning. BBAI pushing strong. AI already to 3290s. We'll look for this to continue going and take a look to see if there's any other AI names that you've traded in the past that you could trade again. IonQ, QUBT, quantum computing plays definitely on the radar. QUBT almost to 4 already, getting a little lift here in the pre-market, now to 397s, almost breaking that $4 spot. CTV that we just talked about, that's $2 setup, pull back to the $2. It pulled back to the $2, goes right back up there to the 280s. This is literally what we just talked about. Literally, we just talked about it. Saw the scanner moving it, have to buy it quickly on that pullback, and then send it to the high end and sell it at the high there. That's another thing that I've been trying to do a little bit more of. I've been looking, like if I traded this, I would look for a break of 3. No, just sell it at the high there. That's what I need to do more often. Just rinse and repeat on that kind of trade is going to bring a lot of cash to your pockets. All right, we'll see what else is out there. But there you guys have it. Literally breaking it down. Boom. It's right there. So, hey, I'm glad you guys see it. And I'm glad you guys see also how quick you need to be on it. Because right there, when did I see it? I saw it at 230s. It did go to the $2 spot there, right back up there. Nice trade there if you guys were able to catch that CTV. All right, we'll see what else is out there. MSTR, of course, just jumping this morning. Got all the way up to, 550s this morning. It's crazy the run on MSTR. And now it's up at 541. I'm sure everyone's thinking back in the split day in September that, man, you should have been buying MSTR. Well, yeah, it's too late now. If you're buying this now, that's just heavy risk. But hey, to each his own. I know I wouldn't be touching it. Nvidia right now is up there towards 148. Could take 150 today. We'll see if it takes it. And then start to look to see if there's other names that start to run. I have seen Apple starting to curl back. If it goes through 230s today, that's a good level for it to start pushing towards like 235. So just to kind of mention a different name that's getting a lift there. Snowflake doing really well this morning, up there to 161. We've talked about the earnings with this one, and they could continue to run. I think that's right now, Snowflake looking awesome. And with this being said, take a look to see any other names in this space. So you're taking a look at PanW, you're taking a look at Zscaler, you're taking a look at these different names to see if they can get the lift today and continue the run. I would bring in a different one, CrowdStrike, but that one's dead to me. She's dead to me. CrowdStrike, we'll see what happens. It is doing well, though. It is climbing back there, almost at 355. CrowdStrike getting back there. But yeah, keep your eyes on these cybersecurity names. They could be pushing today. All right, we'll take a look at what else is going on out there. What are some other AI names to maybe take a look at? I'm not sure, guys. We could take a look at different ones. There's AI and Big Data Bull ETF by Direction. What's in this thing? That's interesting. You got Microsoft, you got Palantir, you got Fortinet, Squares, Block, Zscaler, a lot of kind of these are interesting names in this. I have yet to see this company or yet to see this ETF, but AIBU, Big Data Bull, it trades not too bad. I mean, it's at least trading thousands of shares, but it's not enough volume really. It's just very, very tight there. You would need it to trade more volume, but it's not a bad ETF. Maybe you can find a different one. All right, we'll see what else is out there. And definitely TQQQ is going to be looking good today, guys. It's already taking off from 76 to 78, but looking great here before the open. All right, we'll take a look at some other ones out there. Can you set stops pre-market on TTP platform? No, you can't. You cannot set stops, man. So you would have to go ahead and do a limit out That's the only way to get in and out in any pre-market situation, not just trade the pool, right? And any platform, you can't put stops in the pre-market. And really, I didn't even know if this should exist. The key there is that it's a market order, right? Stops are market orders. And with low liquidity, you might not be happy with the fill you got if it allowed stops. That's what happened, of course, back in the days that they were able to kind of change. So stops really kind of trigger that market order. And there's no real market order in the pre-market because the key there is the liquidation that you'd get is far down, right? Baba mentioned this morning, PDD for a short today below 104, says Shane. So he's not liking Baba and he's saying short PDD. I think you could look for that short on PDD. The only problem with that is that you're trading against the Qs. Sometimes China goes against the Qs. Right now, I think China is making that pullback, but any stimulus, and then of course it's a gap up, but on the day trade, PDD could make sense. Baba right now trying to get back above the 87s. I think at some point we're going to see a China bounce. I'm glad I got rid of it because it got to a point where it just didn't seem to make sense. I thought that we would get a little bit of some danger, and then all of a sudden we'd probably get some China stimulus. Let's see if we get that China stimulus, or do you make a full circle run back to 80? GME short. Honestly, I would not be shorting GME here, guys. I think GME is on a breakout, and it's one of those names that's on a momentum run. And right now, with the way that the market's moving, with AI names, with Nvidia, with crypto hot, would I really want to be shorting something that can squeeze higher? No, those are not the names that I would want to short. But that's up to you, Great Scott. It is extended away from the 9 EMA. So you could be looking to see if maybe it rejects the 30 move. But in my eyes, I think this is one of those moves where you just have to wait and see what happens, because essentially it's on a breakout and it's holding the 9 EMA. And look at the volume that's pumped in it and no one talking about it. That scares the living crap out of me. And that tells me that you could see GME taking just straight taking off, guys. So this amount of volume that's come in it now just tells me there's someone playing this to the upside, and it could be all those GME, of course, you know, the apes and all those guys out there, or maybe it's Roaring Kitty building a position, and next thing you know, he announces it, and GameStop's at 40. It just seems like it's too much danger. It's like trading SMCI. It's just danger station. A lot of people are trading SMCI now, looking for an up move. The only thing about SMCI that I'm a little bit concerned about, and I've heard the horror story, and this is why I'm not trading it, is it's playing with fire. There's such thing called a T2 halt. A T2 halt is a news pending halt where essentially you cannot get in or out of the stock until it reopens. I've seen some stocks go from a T2 halt to delisting. So in my eyes, is SMCI's opportunity worth getting my cash locked up where I can no longer trade? No. The answer is no. Nothing is worth me trading it to the point where my capital gets locked up and I cannot trade. There isn't anything in the world. There's no opportunity that's going to be worth that. Unless they're just giving me cash, like here's $1 million for not trading, well, then that's a whole nother ball game. But the truth is, at the end of the day, guys, this opportunity just seems to me like way too much risk in SMCI. All right. And the same thing for GME. I wouldn't trade it on the upside or the downside. I just think it's just too much risk. Jimmy, what's up out there? Jim, how we doing? Trading Trump, Elon news may be the many trades of the lifetime. Amazing how trash pays. Yeah, I mean the truth is you have to look at where it's not necessarily where the money is going, but where the attention's going. And right now the attention's all on crypto. But I think at the end of the day today, you're gonna start seeing a lot of different media start bringing up what AI names, guys. That's what I think you start to see today. You're starting to see some different action too in different names, like let's say 3D printing. There is some interesting action going on. And with this being said, is Kathy in the green today? Ooh, Kathy's looking good, guys. I know that everybody hates on Kathy, but she's starting to look better and could be taking a nice little lift. So we'll see what happens there. Definitely trying to keep pushing, guys. Trying to keep finding the next move there. All right, let's keep it going, guys. I will be joined a little bit later by a guest, but definitely stick around, guys. We got a lot more right here to keep pushing. Yo, what's up, Ramu? Yo, bro, what's up? What you looking at? I have a 90% success on my sim. I need capital. How big should I start on TTP? Well, I would say it like this, right? The democracy right now, we have a couple of different opportunities for you. We do have a competition that's kicking off, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. You can see the information at the top, and there should be in the description a link that you can click, and I'll make sure that I give you guys that link also. We'll take a second here. I'll just drop it in the chat here to make sure that we're kind of giving it to you guys. But definitely smash the like out there, guys. We got a lot more for you guys. Let me see if I can shorten this link down a little bit. There you go. That should work. There you go. All right. All right, here you guys have it. Just click this link, join our competition so that you can start testing yourself on our platform. And one thing that I would recommend is sign up for the Rule the Pool competition. Then sign up for our demo account. Once you sign up for our demo account, you can start trading today, right? And starting to learn the platform. Then you can go and win one of these evals on the competition. But if you're just looking for the best opportunity that we have available right now, that's going to be the limited account right here, the 20,000. It's only $97, and you only need to get to 1350 in profit target. So if you're looking for an opportunity out there, this is definitely one that is available for you guys, and I would be taking a look at it. You can see the package on the right-hand side. That's what it used to be. Right now, we're having a limited where we brought the profit target down and gave you better profit sharing. That's where I think really this is vital. All right, guys, but take that opportunity before it runs out, before the end of the year, democracy. Hope you get that kind of account. And what I would say is, I personally think it's better to start small, maybe look into one of these limited accounts, push, try to win an account, learn how you can do that, and then try to go bigger. But to each his own, right? It's all about how you want to go about it and how you want to go and make that money. Wish you the best of luck, my friend. All right, thanks. Sounds neat. Love the 30 seconds drop for scalping. Yeah, that's exactly what we did it for. It was for the scalpers, right? We normally have a 1 minute rule. On the other accounts, you're going to find that 1 minute rule. But in this limited, we put it down to 30 seconds to try to help those scalpers give you that extra opportunity, right? And 1 minute is not too long. 30 seconds is not too long, right? We all know that goes by in an instant. All right, we'll see what else is out there. Hope you enjoy that, but definitely check them out. And if you haven't traded it before, go ahead and do so. And of course, you guys see me using multiple platforms here. I run my execution through the platform, and I also have, the charts. You guys see one behind me and different things right here. I always keep the platform open right here in my middle chart, but I have different charting and different services. I think it's also important to understand that you need what? Multiple tools in the tool belt. We'll talk more about trade ideas coming up, and that's also another tool that you can have in the tool belt. Have some tools that you can work and use to help you find trades, right? Like I talk about with Benzinga Pro in my scanner for the small stocks. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look around in the market, see what else is trading up this morning. SMCI already up big. Nvidia continuing to push here. Will it take the 150 right here in the pre-market? The Q's pushing strong, 506.26 now. We just went from 500 to 506, guys. What a shake yesterday. The shakeout is done, though. Unless we break this resistance on the downside, 503, I am in my bullish shoes, and boy, oh boy, we are looking good here, as this looks like we want to climb and run, baby. It looks like all avenues are pointing towards the upside. SPAI, day trade with Tony. You getting it? You're getting it? Get that money, man. SPAI now to 681, continuing to take off almost to the 7. We'll look to see if we can make some cash today, guys. Ready to go ahead and get after it. Look, Cat getting a nice little move on the upside. So that just goes to show me we're having that kind of all-out rally type of day. The industrials coming back. Look for those Trump stocks to do well today. Maybe even DJT does well. Who knows, guys? I can tell you guys right now, it is feeling bullish today. Hopefully, they don't stomp us out the gates. But, man, I'm seeing the strength out there. Reddit continuing on the upside. Of course, I've been seeing multiple people talk about this. That's a big push there in Reddit. We'll see what happens in Ethereum. Guys, I was just talking about this morning. I put it up. Yesterday, we talked about Ethereum. Look where it's at now, almost $9. So where we were looking at it this morning, I put it out at around the 780s, but it was yesterday's action. And look where we're at, 23% higher already on that Ethereum. GME looking great. Yeah, probably to the upside, right, Justin? What do you see there? All right, guys, 9:15. Look at GME starting to push there. It is just bullish tune out there, guys. Bullish tune indeed. I'm looking around to see if there's any news that I missed, but it's been a good one, guys. Target recent trade import data tells the real story behind the massive earnings. Let's see what they were talking about here. The value of goods Target imported was higher than Walmart by $1.2 billion. So where they're having problems, importing goods. That's not a good thing, especially if tariffs are going to increase. So Target, just pricing power. They don't have it like Walmart does. All right, we'll see what else is out there. Bitcoin hits fresh records. Of course, everyone now talking about 100,000. Where would you guys hearing about 100,000 way before this? Even in September, I was talking about Bitcoin at 100,000. Now we're almost there. We'll see what happens. Trade Nvidia or TSLL. You could trade both. I think in a limited account, I'd probably trade TSLL. In the main account where I have more buying power, I have the extra buying power, I'll probably trade straight up Nvidia. But it just depends on what you want to trade there, right? I don't think there's any one that's better than the other. The only thing that I would say maybe about, trading NVDL or NVLL, there's a bunch of these names, these kind of leverage ones. NVDL is one that's a 2 times leverage, and you can see how it's taken off. The key is the spread. The spread is what you need to watch. So here it's trading at about 6 cents wide. And if I go to Nvidia, it's only about 5 or 4 cents wide. So that's the things to keep in mind as you trade it. How's the spread? All right, all indicating pointing up. Yeah, everything's seeming like we're pointing towards the upside. Looking at Hess Long. Oil's been making a little bit of a move. Yesterday was XOM's first push back towards this level that I've been talking about. I talked about this level on Trader TV that was 122. If it starts to take that 122, yeah, I could see Hess also probably making the move. Hess is actually driving a little bit stronger than XOM right now, but it's on a recovery move. So that's why you're seeing that kind of action. You can see here kind of an inverse head and shoulders now starting to push. Where is going to be an important level is when you start to come and work back into this space. So you still got room to go to maybe 160 there. And Hess, next spot for me is 153. It's pushing. It doesn't look bad. One thing I will tell you on this one is it loves to do hourly long pullbacks. So you can see here on the chart, and I'll make it a little bit bigger so you can see this action here. So you see how it pushes up, comes back to the 9 EMA. But what are those? Those are hourly long pullbacks. I talk about these all the time. So that's your first pullback. Then it comes back up to the resistance, right? Makes another high. Then you're going to want it to come back to support. Look, it comes up right back to support, right? And so those are the way that I like to trade these oil names. I'm looking for a push up to come back closer towards hourly support and then grind off of that. So the first action is usually the fake out on the upside. Then you get a pullback right back towards that hourly low that you can go ahead and try to bet off of, right? So we'll see what happens there in Hess. And you can clearly see the trend there. Hourly long pullbacks, finding support, finding buyers at those hourly supports. All right, let's keep it moving, guys. It's been a great morning already, guys. It's what, 9:06? Oh, no, it's not 9:06. Come on. It's 9:15, 9:16. What? Why is my saying 9:15 there? It's 9:19. Come on. I don't know why my clock was wrong there on the bottom there for Hess, but yeah, for some reason on Hess, it's a little bit weird. It's saying 9:15, but we won't worry about that. Let's keep it moving, guys. Nvidia erasing its pre-market loss as the sentiment shifts on earnings beat. Come on, man. Come on. I love the media, man, but at the same time, they talk so much crap. Yesterday, they were talking about how this was a negative because of the growth earnings, and now they're saying, no, it's because of the earning beat that the stock is going up. No, you're both wrong, guys. You're wrong on the first headline that you put out. You're wrong on this headline that you put out. This has all to do with what? The mentality of what's coming forward, guys. It's the forward outlook. If Nvidia is going to continue pushing the gas pedal on AI, if Trump's going to be the president, and we already know he is, well, right here, I'm focused on what? Deregulation or no regulation in AI. But yeah. We all know it. Media failed the 10th grade. You know how it is, guys. I just think it's funny. And I think that you guys need to start paying attention to it. What is said in the news is not what is financial, actual trading, guys. It is just emotional headlines to grab your attention. I'm going to repeat that. What you see in financial media is just emotional attachment to try to get you to take a look at that in more of an emotional stance and being like, oh no, Nvidia's earnings, Target, disaster. Yeah, let's look at the numbers. Let's be numbers, guys. Let's focus on story. Let's not focus on just the sentiment that was in because the stock didn't go up and you had to put out a report on why the stock didn't come out. That's exactly what happened last night. They're looking for an answer, and they start to say things like, oh, but we didn't hit triple-digit growth. That's why the stock's coming down. We'll see what happens. And future day trade, just rewind the tape. I've already said maybe potentially 160 today. I said it. It could still have maybe another 10 points, maybe 159, 158. But yeah, it could be up there, future day trade. It has the momentum right now. And the key here is it going to let the bulls back in? Where would that be, that level? That would be back here. If it lets the bulls back in, I think it hits 147 today. I don't even think it goes there. That's my personal opinion. You guys, of course, trade how you guys want to trade, but I don't think it's going to even go there. It won't even give a chance for the bulls to come back in. The bulls needed to come back in when? This morning, early. All right, we'll see what else is out there, guys. 9:22. We're getting close to the bell here, man. It is a crazy day today. Hey, ETU, guys. ETU, man. What a move. What a move, guys. This morning, and I tried my best to really put out some information that helps you guys, and that's what I'm all about, is trying to help you guys. Look at it this morning. I put out this tweet here. I said, you know what, guys? I feel like it's time for a little bit of some ETH. Little sympathy to catch up to BTC, right? Well, look at that. I put this out there and boom, guys, in just a little bit, in just like 10 minutes, it was already trading at what? 823. It's now trading at $9. Well, gotta keep up with me, guys. I'm trying my best to give you guys the value and catch the trends. Not give you trades, catch trends. Trends you guys can build off of. So this is my next trend, right? AI 2.0 is here. Let's see what happens. All names to kind of keep your eyes out for. And it's going to be a fun one. That's for sure. All right, let's see what else is going on out here. I'm seeing the up and down action in the market here. So getting ready to prepare for the open. Of course, I'll be checking out my scanners, taking a look to see if there's anything else making a move here. OPTT, man, this was the first stock I ever traded, guys. It was a penny stock back in the days. If you guys don't know, Ocean Power Tech, OPTT, always puts a smile on my face. I was trading this way back then, man. I was trading this in like 2018, 2017. Man, it's been a good couple years, man. Not a bad one at all. We'll see if this can continue to run, man. But man, what a crazy time. OPTT, I think it was in 2016, actually, 2016, right here on this drive where this thing went absolute bananas, and it was an absolute monster. It was with the shippers, right? Like dries and things like that. Crazy. All right, we'll see what else is out there, guys. 3,100 for me if it happens with 450 shares. We'll see what happens. Future day trade, can it do it? Find out. And of course, future day trade. I know that you're working on that expert, the big account. Don't forget, man. Don't forget. Try your best to understand what's greedy and what's not being greedy on that Nvidia trade, because it's very important. As you and I that are trading with bigger size, and you traders that are trading with bigger size, the number one thing that can hurt us with bigger size is getting greedy. We have to be able to make money. Small cuts, big money wins. Let's do it. Mohit, what's up? Was way too aggressive yesterday early on. All right, great comment here. Was way too aggressive early on. Hit the daily pause. Had I been patient, there was a lot of good opportunities later on. This happens to too many traders, Mohit. This is why you need to have some kind of determining factors in your trade. What is a really good A plus setup? What's a good B plus setup? And what's a C plus setup? Right? And if I'm seeing nothing but C's, I should maybe stay on the sideline. B's and A's are tradable. Now, C's could sometimes be, well, I just don't like this. And that can happen. Yesterday, like QUBT, that to me was more of an A plus setup. Why? Because I saw the daily trend and I saw the hourly. And I can see the hourly kind of recovering here, sideways action after a recent run. Nice pullback level, and now starting to reclaim, right? Look at it now, 426, man. We were just talking about this at 4. That has already gone another 8%. So quantum computing, things like this. Try to find what you consider your A plus, B plus setups. Write those down and make sure that you don't miss those plays. And looking to see that, hey, is this a C setup, a B setup, an A setup? Determine what that looks like. That could help, Mohit. Wish you the best of luck, my friend. And one of the most important things is remember that patience is what pays. Sometimes it's okay to step away from the computer and just come back in an hour, right? It's okay. And maybe you miss an opportunity because of that. But you got to sometimes just take your eyes away from the screen if you're not seeing opportunities. All you're doing is pushing your luck by staying in the hot seat with that hand on the mouse. All right, we'll see what else is out there, but definitely some good action. Hey, get after it, Mohit. I wish you the best of luck, for real. All right, boom, ready for the day. Let's go, guys. Let's get focused here. It's 9:27. Love the comment. Now it's time to get ready. Let's focus. Let's look at our stocks. What are some of the stocks you guys are looking for? And setting up alerts and things like that is what can really help us. So on AI, I'm going to go ahead and start setting an alert. I do think this is nice. I liked it at 33s. It might rip right out the gates off of that 33s. Nvidia, of course, where could I get that? Well, 147 is a pullback level for me on Nvidia. If it gets back by 147, I could take a look at it to maybe get a buy. If not, I got to look for VWAP pullbacks. But we'll talk about it during the show. Another stock, right? QUBT. Can look at this stock, but it's already ripped there towards 430. So how do I trade it now? It's kind of hard, right? I'll be honest. It's kind of hard to trade it right now because I got to look for a pullback. And then this is going to be one of those where I need a 9 EMA pullback on like a bigger time frame. So like a pullback back towards like 410s, $4 is what makes sense right now. But it's ripping. It's ripping, guys. Already there, almost to 430s and taking off. So we'll see if it gets to the 435, 450s out the gates and then pulls back. That's going to be maybe one way to play it. All right, taking a look at some other action. Of course, we could take a look at so many different names today. Tempest AI. Let's go take a look at this one. This is one that could move, that could get that nice little push. So Tempest AI, where am I looking for the push? I'd look at the hourly chart. The hourly chart is on a little bit of a pullback. It could come back and kind of test this trend line and then make the move higher. So where do we look at? The support right here, making sure that that doesn't break. Breaks 56 today. I want to go back through 60 is really the breakout. So I'll be looking for a move back through 60 today on Tempest AI, especially back through like 59. But I'm going to put 59.50s right now, looking for that move back towards 60 today. We'll see what happens there. And Nvidia, what has run before when Nvidia has run? Well, you can definitely take a look at Taiwan Semiconductor. That's going to be one that definitely I'd be watching right now. It's already getting a lift here. So if there's one name that I'd be wanting to look at before the bell here, and not just Nvidia, it's this one, Taiwan Semiconductor, because it has a tendency of running with it, right? Take a look at the daily chart. We were just up there towards 200. We've pulled back, could start to climb back. Big resistance, 190 on TSM. AMD is one that could get a little bit of a push with this. We'll see what happens if AMD actually makes a push today. It was just one that was moving based on the action. Qualcomm, we'll see if that starts to push back here. You can see it already getting a little push after yesterday taking a beating. All right, guys, here's the open. Stay safe out there, guys. Have fun. Like always, go into trading what you know best and get after it, guys. Let's go. Let's go. It's Trade the Pool. Let's go trading, guys. All right, guys, already getting some alerts there. So QUBT, man, QUBT, guys, 450s, almost right out the gates, 445, stock of the day already. Nice little lift to start it off, 15%. Not a bad move here to start it off, guys. You can't really complain at that at all. RCAT, also a big stock that was moving, guys. We'll look to see if this one can continue holding today, but definitely seeing some strength out there. Unity was strong, and so it was definitely a growth type of day yesterday. We'll see if it can continue today. AI just ripping, guys, almost 34 now. What a move there. I talked about how 33 seemed like a good level. It's already ripped, guys. 34 now. What a big push there for AI. I'm looking for a pullback here in AI, but we'll see if I can get it, man. What a push, man. Sometimes you got to trade out the gates, man. And that was one of those that just did a nice move. Look at that, 34.20s. Looks like the AI names are hot here. BBAI was another one that was mentioned to me. Just looking at it as it is starting to get a little bit of a push there, the 218s. We'll look to see what other names are making a move here. All right, not looking too bad to start the day. Definitely some of these stocks just screening, man. What's up? What's up, Chris? How we doing? All right, guys, let's go. Let's go. Sean already in Nvidia. Yeah, I mean, there was nothing wrong with taking Nvidia, right? I told you guys, I didn't expect it to come down to 147. It looked like it was just going to be a ripoff. Why? Because it doesn't want to let the bulls back in. That's what I can see there. And I talked about TQQQ, about how that could be a play. So this is already starting hot. We'll look to see if we get some kind of pullback. Apple, another one to keep watch there. Can it get to 230 today? AI starting to get hot, man. There's so many names moving. This is one of those days where it's hard for me to trade and give you guys everything that's moving, right? So there's going to come a point where I just got to focus on the trading action. But man, oh man, strong day to start the day, and good move there in some of these AI names already moving. Big push there, man. All right, we'll look to see if we get some kind of pullback there. The strength in AI just continuing. Now 34.25, already up a full buck from the open, 3%. We'll look to see if there's any pullback, but it is just ripping here on C3 AI. All right, we'll see some other names. I'm trying to find some names that are moving. CRNC is a small one that's getting a little bit of a lift there if you're looking for a move there. All right, CTV now towards $3. CTV, big push there. Remember, this is the one that we were that we looked for, like that $2 pullback towards the 280s. It's all the way up there towards 3 now. SPAI, will this one come back today? We'll see what happens there, but definitely Nvidia now pulling back towards the 150s. We'll look to see if we get some kind of pullback. AI to 3450s, man. What a run in AI. I'm a little upset I'm missing this, guys. Should have probably just taken the 33s in the pre-market. But the hard part is, if when I take a pre-market trade, guys, I can't even no longer look into the market. A lot of times I'm just focused on my trade. So it's part of it, the battle of kind of being here and leading, right? So it's just part of it, man. It's kind of like what I talk about. It's payments of the game to being an educator, right? Because truth is, I'd probably want that 33 in the pre-market, and I probably would have gotten in on this break of 33, not the 9 a.m. one right here around the 8:30 when I started to look for that 33. That was a nice level. All right, looking around to see if I can find any other trades that are making a move here. I'm seeing Works start actually coming back. This is the one that caught me earlier, and it is getting a nice little push back towards the $2. Could break 2 and maybe get to 225, 250s maybe. CRNC, definitely one that's getting the move there. Went up there towards 4, now pulling back, just catching some of these small moves as they get the push. ETHU starting to pull back there. IonQ to $30, guys. So the quantum computing plays just taking off today. QUBT now towards, did it get to the 450s? It got to 447, now starting to pull back. Hasn't pulled back enough for me to take a shot. I need that back down towards like 410. We'll see if it does come back, but just like this AI, man, it just doesn't even want to come back right now. We'll look to see if we get any type of pullback. Today's one of those days where it could just not pull back. QUBT now towards 440s. Will it take the 450s and continue to grind? Oh, man, what a day, what a day. Some of these are going to be misses, right? I'll be a little upset, but hey, it is what it is. Clean Spark getting a nice little lift to the 15s. We'll look to see if this can continue to run. Will Bitcoin hit 100K? All things to think about, right? We'll see what happens. Where are we at now on Bitcoin? I see 96 on Bitcoin, 96.8, almost 97. Got to keep watch on Bitcoin today. 97.1 now I'm seeing. So we'll see if it can get back into the 98 and hit 100,000 today. Clean Spark definitely getting a lot of attention out the gates there as some traders try to jump up in there and just jump it, right? They're trying to jump it. AI, will we get some kind of pullback? I'm looking for it. I need the market to come back. VIX actually getting a little bit of a jump up here, guys. That's a little bit of a sign concern, but to me, it looks like something to short off of. So I'm going to be looking to short off of it. I really wanted this to come back towards the closing price, 48.49. So looking to see if I can get some kind of spike to 48.49s and then seeing that rejection. It's going to be important for me. So 48.49, can we get some kind of pullback and then the rejection come in there for the VXX? Nvidia now pulling back towards that 147. So could have got those buyers right out the gates there towards the 153. This is the level where I could see some buying come back into it. Let's see if it comes back to it at 147 and it comes back towards the 150. So this is that level that you could look at. There's my alert right there on the screen. Let's go. My mic is muted. What do you mean, Michael? Mic should not be muted. Let me know, guys, if you guys don't hear me. Don't understand why it would be muted. Maybe the audio that you have, Michael, is muted. Don't think I'm muted right now. All right, Nvidia setting up for a great short for profit takers to wake up. Hey, get it, democracy. Future says I can hear you. Yeah, I just think that he might have like some volume issues. All right, looking around, trying to make a trade, man. Trying to make a trade. AI back to 34, back to 34s. I would like this pullback back into the 33.50s, maybe 33s here. This is on the VWAP here. I want to trade it here, but it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Are we going to get a VWAP bounce here? How's the Qs? Qs went straight down out the gates. So VIX is coming back to that level that I talked about, the 48.49 level. I'm looking at it here. The VIX is jumping to it. Let's see what happens there. I'm going to try to get an entry. $200 shares short at 48.49, trying to get it back up to that level. That's yesterday's close. So just trying to get it through that level, and then it could come right back down. The idea is that it could spike through it. So that's why I'm not going with big sizing. I'm just trying to get a starter here and then look to see if it starts to really kind of crack right back down. So the Q's coming right back down here, definitely showing the weakness in the market right here. We'll look to see if it starts to work its way back here, but definitely seeing some weakness in the Q's out the gates. It's trying to catch some pullback there. We'll look to see if we can catch the pullback. Nvidia now to 145, so definitely a quick dip there. Let's see what happens. VIX just got me on that as it just went to the 48.50s. Now I'll look to see if it starts to pull back there. Of course, like 49 can also just tell me to get out there. That's going to be about $100 there, but really just looking to see if I can build a trade up here and then look for the takedown right back. So now I need to wait for it to go red candle here. It's definitely on the spike. Could go red at any moment here. We'll see if it starts to reject this 48.49. So nice rejection right there on that first action there. Just waiting to start seeing the red candles. I'm up a little bit right here, but it's nothing to be, prudent on. It's more just to look to see what happens on the Qs here. Second double top around that 48.70, big important spot there. Now we're starting to see the decline come right back in. Now I go in for the add here in just a second. I'm looking for just a little bit of a push here. Nice little first action here, up about $100 here. Now I can go ahead and move the stop loss, break even. Just looking for this to keep going down. I'm going to look to add here, but I want to look to add closer towards 48.40s, and I'm break even right now. So if I do add, that's where I'll start risking, but looking for this to be a breakdown now. Looking good as it starts to come right back down through the 48s. Is a big level. Let's see if we get one more up attempt here. So I'm going to look for one more up attempt that comes to this like kind of trend line and then rejects. So the Bollinger Band right there on the top end, you can see it right around that 49. That's pretty much where I'm looking at. Could jump in here and add, but I'm not doing myself a favor by adding right here. I need to let it try one more time, and then the flush should happen here. At least that's what I'll be looking for. The Qs bounced there. Nvidia went down to 144 and then bounced. Looking at AI here to also maybe take the shot there, but 34s went right back up there. So I had the chance to maybe take AI or the VIX. I took the VIX there. Maybe it was just because it was a setup that I already had the order out there, but let's see what happens here. Does the VIX get back above the 48.69? If it does go through 48.50s, it's going to stop me out. Then I can look to get back in. That's one of the things that I've been working on the most, is being able to get in and out. Let's go to Palantir. I reached my daily loss with Nvidia. Eli said, sorry about that, man. Sorry, I pressed the mute button. It's all right, Michael. It happens to us, man. Palantir long, it's a good day for it. The only thing is be careful with Palantir going up and down. I'd look at the hourlies to hold the trend line. So the trend line came right back to the hourly and held that. Break of 61.50s today is danger, danger. Now I'd start to look as you reclaimed 62. Can you hold 62? So you made a quick dip in the open. You held 62, you pushed to 63, like 40s. Now pullbacks to 62 are going to be important. So you see how you reclaimed the 62 just now. I wouldn't want to see it break. All right, going to go ahead and see that now start to come down there. The VIX just rejected that move to the 49s, which is what I was looking for. Now I'm going to go for the short here in just a second and add. Just need to see 48 start to break here, and then that's where I can go for the add. So it's either going to add or break even stop here. This is what I've been trying to do more and more of, guys. I'm going to show you it right on the chart so you guys can learn a little bit more about this, especially for you newer traders that are just here to kind of learn right now. Take a look at that. So essentially there you guys see my position. I'm in there at the top. I have a stop loss of 0. So cannot lose on this position. Maybe a couple dollars if it's just like, some slippage. But looking to add here back through the 48s and then knock this right back down. Let's see if we can get this to cut that 48 and come right back down. That'd be the Qs jumping here. There's the 48. You're about to see my ad. And once I get that ad, what do? I got to move my stop, right? Move my stop closer towards what? Break even, right? So here I'm just risking about $8. I'll move it to $4, only risking $4. And now I need to see the breakdown continue and I can really start to make some cash. All right, there's that good first breakdown. Would like to see the 48s hold underneath it and really kind of make a quick move here down. All right, so I'd also want to see the Qs jumping here. So let's take a look at the Qs. Qs starting to come back here. Can it get to VWAP? That's a big spot. In a second here, I'm going to guarantee at least $100 as I start trying to build a cushion on the day. All right, looking to see if the 48s can reject one more time and the Qs can get back above the 502 here. So you see that 9 EMA on the light blue for the Qs. That's what I'll be watching. Chris, you never replied to my email. Chris, I'll take a look at that. It might have gone to my junk folder. I don't know, but I'll take a look at it, Chris. I will. I'll take a look at it for sure, man. Maybe I might have missed it, but I can tell you I would definitely take a look at it. All right, here's that first action, starting to get that down action. The Q's starting to go lower, so that looks good here. Now I'm going to start securing some more profits here as I'm up 194. Just want to make sure that I at least get 150 out of this trade. Looking for this to continue going, but if it comes back on me, I'll get out. All right, there, set the stop there for the 148, just in case it comes back on me. I just want to make sure that I take that first cash. I've been trying more and more just to try to make a little first cushion move, and then look to see if I can make a little bit more. There's that first downside action coming right back in, 222. So don't want to see this 502 break on the Qs. Looking for this to hold there, back down into this spot here. It becomes danger, and I want out of the trade. There you go. It just took it, right? So the 136 could easily just come right back down. Does it mean that it's coming down? No, but I'm also just apparent. Early on in the day, I need to take cash early as it comes available to me, and then use some of that cash to take a bigger swing later. AI right back down to the 33.76. So now we start to use our rule of 3 method, right? So we've had 1 up, 1 down, 2 up, 2 down. Could get that 3rd up and a 3rd pullback, then the breakout. So just watching for this flag pattern to continue, right? So that's what I'm looking at. Up 1, down 1. I'd actually not even call it on that one. I'd call it more kind of this flag. So it's a little bit of a weird looking flag here. So I'm just trying to distinguish it. I'll go to a 5-minute to try to help me clear some of it out. So 5-minute pattern here, right? Boom. You take a look here. I'd like to see if I'm just going on the 5, I'd like to see 33.33 hold right now. Could do an undercut and then rally. Let's go back to the Qs here. VIX did come right back down, so maybe could have held that. It was a really nice entry there. I will say this was on the playbook. 48.49 was on my playbook. If you guys watched this morning on our Twitter, you guys would have saw that I had it on the playbook. And what was one of the plays? It was VIX off 48.49. Speaking of which, I need to put out that one. All right, guys, definitely strategy book looking great today. And you guys can see this on our Twitter every single day, guys. What did I put out here? Right here. Look at the VIX. Look at this. Market sentiment remains positive. A little bearish noise in sight. A short on VIX looks appealing, especially with the resistance holding near yesterday's close at 48.49. So literally to the key. Let's go. Looking at Benzinga Pro to see what's moving here, to see if maybe some smaller names are moving. PDYN is the big move right now, starting to get a lift there, and it looks good on the daily. This is more of an A plus, B plus setup, at least on the daily. Daily is what tells me, yes, this looks good here. Could take a nice little lift off through the 260s, already hit the 250 spot. I'd like a little pullback to that 250, but PDYN, really quick move there in an infrastructure name. Interesting. Technology infrastructure. Works to 250. I talked about how that could get the run to 225, 250. This was the name that stopped me out this morning. So there you guys see it. It actually came back. It just took towards the open. Nice rip out on the halt is Works. QUBT, guys, coming right back up. Went down to the 4. I missed this one. This would have been an opportunity back at 4. So definitely back at 4, really good opportunity there for QUBT. Now it's going for the breakout above the 450s. This looks great there. QUBT, IonQ probably did a similar move there. VWAP move right back up there, 3140s. Big move there. AI now starting to go back up there. Now I'm starting to get a little bit interested in it. I just need one pullback to 34s. 34s are going to start getting me in on AI so much that I'm going to put out the order there. Might miss it there. It might not even come back to the 34s, but it's looking good here. I definitely do like it. Just would like to get back towards the 90 MA and below. We'll see if we can get that pullback here. I'm going to put out some orders laddering here. Ladder approach here. Ladder approach. What's a ladder? Well, you put out orders at different levels where you think you could get the pullback to and willing to take that shot, right? So looking for a little bit of a pullback here in the Qs right back to the 503s. The VIX came right back down, guys. So I should have held that VIX trade. This is where I'm struggling a little bit, guys. When to run and take the profits, when to leave the trade on. Was the trade setup amazing? It was as good as it gets on that VIX. All right, took 20,000 shares on TRNR, short at 586, now at 369. Hey man, you got to do that on the Trade the Pool account and give me a call once you have that account already, man. You're welcome on anytime. That's another thing, guys. Don't forget that the door is always open for you guys to join the show and come hang out. All right, looking around out there, but definitely really nice trade there, guys. We'll look to see if I get a trade in AI now, starting to get a little bit of a pullback. Could get that pullback towards the 34s, maybe even a little bit below here. So pulling it back as I get a little bit of a pullback here. I want to get filled towards 34s, but just trying to be smart, right? Trying to give it a chance to pull back here some. And then I'll move the limits and start sizing in there. Let's see if I can get an opportunity below this 34. It just hit 34.05. But the offer was pretty high up there. So looking to at least see if maybe we can get a little bit of a VWAP test. 15 minutes. Let's go to a 5-minute chart here. 5-minute chart. You can see there. Oh, that's a 3-minute chart. What am I doing? 3-minute chart. Nah, this is a 5-minute chart. It could hold here and not even break that 34. So it's looking good, guys. It's looking good. I would love to get a fill down towards 33.75, somewhere in between this zone, 34 and 33.76. That's where I'd like to get filled. Of course, the breakout is 34.50s. It might not get me the fill. Man, QUBT, guys. Oh man, guys, this is one of those where it's like I could probably call this one all day, but probably won't be able to trade it well. And yesterday should have definitely been trading this one. It's just such a good name. IonQ taking off there. Big boys out there, man. It's a good day. It's a good day, boys. Let's get that money. CRNC doing well too. QUBT, man, what a move today. All right, guys, I got to start stepping up here. I'm trying to get the first entry. No, don't run from me. I was trying to get a fill there in between the spread. No fill. Now I'll probably come down and get me. Oh, it got me on that down. Yeah, it literally said it. As I said it, it literally came down and got me. All right, so now it's more, come back down and try to get some more sizing here. I'm willing to look for a little bit more of a pullback fill here. Let's see what happens. All right, there's 34 showing up here. Can I get a 34.80s or 34.70 look here? Looking at the 5-minute as it could come back to this 9 EMA. It could even come back to 33.50. So you got to keep that in mind. All right, we'll see what happens here in AI, C3 AI. All right, looking around to see what else is making a move out there. Some of these bigger names. Let's see what's up out there. Snow up 30%, man. Snow. Look at that, man. Nice push there. Is Zscaler and the other ones doing well? Also, Pan W. Nice first opening action on some of those. We'll look to see if CrowdStrike can make some move there. Nice move. AI did not give me some fills just yet, guys. Now looking to get a little bit more fills here. I got one at 33.70s here. Looking to see if some buying can come back in here. All right, here's a little pullback. There's an attempt back here towards the upside. I'm still around 33.69, trying to get an ad. See if I can get an ad here. All right, still waiting on AI ad here. I got 200 shares down 45, willing to add and look for the breakout towards the 35 here. This is when it gets to the point where I guess you got to just focus on kind of taking a trade there, not looking around, because if I start looking around, I'm going to miss the trade, and that's where the frustration comes in. All right, taking a look here to see what's going on in the last kind of hour or 30 minutes here. Let's see what's going on. Why is it showing me that same? What time is it? It's 9:56. That's why. All right. All right, we'll see what's going on in after 10 o'clock here. Trying to see if AI can make another run here. The Qs have come right back down here. So the VIX is going to give us maybe another opportunity on that 48.49. And I'm looking for an attempt up there. I don't mind reshorting the VIX, even if it does get above that level, right? So I'll just be watching to see what happens here. Qs are coming down, though, and we'll see if we actually start to get a little bit of a fade. Nvidia is back down to 146. I know that a lot of traders are stuck watching this bad boy. We'll see what happens. Another pattern that's been happening often, and another day trader brought it up to me last night when I was talking to him, was that day trading right now, we're seeing a lot of washing out of the day traders in the first hour of the day, and then the market's coming back at lunchtime and towards the end of the day. Why is that? I talk about this all the time. The institutions love to slam on the day traders and then bring the market back. What can they do? They can do moves like this. I'm going to go short the market or short a big name, 500,000 shares. And then what I'm going to do is at lunchtime, I'm going to go long that same stock, 1 million shares, and make the money right back. So things like that are things to be thinking about. They make money, they wash it down, they scare you, and then they run it back. And next thing you know, you're looking back like, whoa, what happened? All right, guys, QUBT tried short, not. QUBT just broke all time on the daily. Yeah, QUBT, maybe not the one to kind of short, but I mean, hey, I wish you the best of luck, my friend. Get after it, guys. Whichever way. If you're against my names, not for them, whichever way, man. Nvidia now coming down here. We'll look to see if we get that reversal right back. AI trying to make the move back above the 34s here. It's right back to my level here. I'm looking to add and take a shot here. I just need to see it start going in my direction. So don't want to add just yet, but I'm about to. All right, here's a push where the bid actually gets above my level here, right on my level here. So now we're looking at that point to add. Just want to see the volume start to come in here and bigger size actually start to fill. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for big orders here on the time and sales. So big orders are going to tell me that, yeah, big orders are stepping up here. We're ready to go for it too. So, all right, starting to see that action here. Now we're towards 3440s here in a second here. I'm just looking for, there's that pop there. Now I'm looking at any pullback to add. $34.50s, come on, a little bit of a pullback here. Give me that quick dip. That dip. Looking for a quick dip here. 49 on the offer, 46, not enough, 40s. Come on, 40s, 40s. 40s, 40s or below, 40s or below. I'm looking at the offer side, the top right, the red looking number, 34.45s, 34 by 34s, right? So I'm looking for that pullback here to get the fill. There's the 40s. I'll take some there. All right. It's pulling back on me a little bit. Got to be careful with the pullback here. Just understanding the risk. That's what's always important. So now my average is 34.26. Now looking for this trend line to start holding. It's okay to wick here. It's not okay to break the VWAP. So it could be a fake out there. All right, seeing the pullback here on AI. Thinking about adding, but I don't want to add here just because it's just a little bit too much risk here. All right, guys, we'll see if it starts to recover. It's coming for a 34 attempt here, and I wanted to hold this 34. Should have held up there a little bit closer into the move right there. So I'm canceling the ad there because I don't want it to hit. It just came for it, and now you're seeing it already down about, what, 200 right now? Yeah, 200. Looking to see if this is going to bounce on the AI. Don't want it to break the support. The support's right there at the 33.50s. If that goes, I definitely got to go here. Should have already recovered that 34. So looking to see if I can hold towards that last 5-minute high low here, which is right around the 33.70s. Here's that 34.70s testing me to come out here, and the spread is widening out. So you got to be careful here. You're getting definitely the shake before the bake. They shake you and then they bake you. Here's that 34 recovery. Can they go and take it now? Looking at the action here to see if we can turn this back here. This candle on the 5-minute basis back to a green candle would be very vital. The spread is opening up. That's one thing I don't like. When the spread starts going 20 cents wide here, that's not a good thing. That starts to like put more pressure on the buyers than it is on the sellers even. Well, it's on both sides really, because to get in, it's very hard now. Qs, what's going on? Oh, further downside. So that could leak into what we're doing right now. We could see another push here on the VXX through the level of the 48.49. Got to be careful here, guys. We're getting that washout attempt here. The spread is just going all over the place here. Watching the VIX reject that 48.49 again here. That's a good rejection level. Let's see if the Qs start working their way back here. AI looking good here off the 34s. Just needs to get right back towards that 34.50s. It's still building in here on the MACD. It still looks good. The MACD was crossed on the 5. I'd probably be out. Let's see if we can get that one last run through the 34.50s. All right, getting a down attempt here. Got to be careful. Nice little 1, 2, 3. This was that fourth bottoming. So if this candle closes back towards 34, we know our out right there on that bottom of that candle. Good volume came in on that 34 breakdown. So it could have been ads at 34s and now trying to recover. Let's see if it can recover 34s. That's the spot to watch right now for me on AI. All right, looking around for some smaller names making a move. SKK is one that I'd call out right now, making a move out there, guys. So if you're looking at names and you're looking to see what's moving, SKK, one that's been moving and had a couple of halts already, it seems like, on SKK. All right, going back to AI here. What's up out there, traders? How you doing? All right. Wow, you know your stuff. I just short shit now near the open top and chase it down with a stop. No worries, man. It just takes years of experience. That's what I would say. And that if I put in the time, right? I'm not perfect. I'm not a hero. I'm not here to say that I'm making $1 million. I wish, but definitely I know what I can do, right? All right, guys, here it is, guys. We're going to see it right now. Will we get the turnaround here? If not, you could get a test down here and then the move. We're seeing the Qs get a little bit weak there. I need to pay attention to the Qs here to see if we can get some kind of bounce back above the 500. If it washes down to the 499, it could stop us out of some trades, and we need to be willing to get out and get back in. Here it goes for the move, the reversal, or the breakdown. That's what I'm thinking happens right now. So I'm putting out a stop here. I got to protect myself. There he goes. Got hunted. I could feel it. Could feel the momentum coming in there, and it could swing back. But I don't want to get destroyed, right? I took a profit earlier that was a little bit too early, 138, and I was up. Now I'm down 136. That's fine. But getting out of that trade is going to be more important to me than just staying in it, because AI could still reverse back through the 34, but it was just too much danger down through the 33.50s. That's how I will lose $400, $500, $600 on that trade. Not going to do that. We'll look to see if AI starts to catch here on the 15-minute, holds this, and breaks back to the upside. So we're going to start looking for those types of trades on the 15-minute. That's what I'd be watching. Nvidia, will it go back to 15-minute green candle? That's what I'd be watching. We got what, 10:07, so we got still 8 minutes left here that it could still be kind of in that red. Qs right back down. VIX coming up here towards the 48.70s. We'll see what happens. Is this really downside action today? I'll tell you one thing, it's catching a lot of traders by surprise. You guys could hear the bullishness this morning. There's some bullishness out there. Where's the strength? The strength's in the industrials, man. Cat, those types of names. I'm looking at it. Remember I told you guys that Deere could be at 420 after the earnings? Well, there it is, guys. 420 after the earnings. When did we drew this green box? We drew it on the 20th. Why? Because we were talking about this just yesterday. Would Deere go back through the 420? And there it is. It's breaking out and going towards that 440s. Big move in the industrials today. That means Picard, an interesting play today. Look at that up there towards 112. CAT is actually pulled back and just starting to recover the VWAP. So this actually looks good also. We'll look to see if XLI takes up to the next level. Look at that 140 looking good there. GE, another one that could do well today. NNE, Nano Nuclear. Guys, the nuclear plays are doing amazing. And I think this is going to be one that we'll always look back on and be like, man, if I would have just kept that 850 in September from NNE, that would have been a crazy investment. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep pushing, guys. All right, time to feed the chickens and put up some wood before the wife gets back, or no Snooky. Hey, don't get in trouble now. Go get those chickens. Can't go wrong, man. I have a brother-in-law that would love to hear things like that. A little bit of some work, a little bit of some farm life. Why not? All right, guys, looking at the VXX start to turn around there, and I'm watching for it to see if it starts to come to the downside here. It's definitely back and forth on the action today. We'll look to see if we get the downside. From the pre-market, it was just bullish, 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 right? So now we're running into a little bit of that decline, and I've talked about it. The first hour of the day lately has been more of stuff it to the day traders, and then later on in the day, especially at lunchtime, and that's why I always say you got to know those good lunch spots in New York City if you want to go ahead and catch it. We'll see what else is out there, guys. Definitely stick around. We got a lot more for you guys today. All right, let's go, guys. We got a lot more to take a look at, and we'll be joined by trade ideas in just a little bit here, guys. Looking at the VXX start to come down there. I'm thinking about taking another trade here. I think maybe we get one more lift off here, but I'm going to try to get the starter on now. Starter on right there, guys. Starter short here on the VIX there, VXX. We'll look to see if it gets one more little spike back here. I'm looking for that one more little spike. You can see here that we've had like about 1 attempts here, 2 attempts, right? So I'm looking for this kind of third attempt here to kind of fail, and then it really start to break down here. So it could go right back to the 69. What I'm really looking for is a break back below the 48s. That's that kind of reversal back on the downside. Need to see the Qs come back into some strength. We'll see if that starts to happen and holds 500. All right, what's going on out there, guys? All right, guys, let's keep it going here. The Q's coming down a little bit here. Going to get that spike there probably, but it's the last one that I can kind of hold through. Don't want to see the Q's break that 499. Let's see if the VIX comes up into that spot and starts rejecting it there. We definitely have like kind of this kind of rectangle consolidation here. That's what I'm pretty much betting on, right? We'll see what happens if it starts to go above that. That's a breakout through the 49. That's where the danger comes in. But trying to stay small here and then add to it, take a shot. Watching the Qs here, and it's going to make that attempt maybe to the 499. We'll look to see if it does like maybe like a little bit of an undercut. One thing you could also look for is, especially around these supports, is big volume is an important level to look at. So you can see that we got some big volume around the 500 level. So I think there was a bigger trader trying to catch that 500 level and recover. So a move back through that candle is very important. All right, guys, stick around. In a little bit, we'll be joined here at 10:15. I got my man Chris Varley coming in from Trade Ideas. Q's now starting to jump there. Now I want to go ahead and add to the VIX. Got that breakdown here. So, all right, first add there, guys. Now I want to go ahead and start being like kind of break even on this. Just either letting it collapse or taking the green, guys. Taking it green. All right, let's see if the Qs just start to climb. AI is another name that I could look at this point, but what am I trying to do? I'm just trying to trade the VIX right now. So we could get a bigger breakdown now. It seems like the 48's rejecting here well. I could add on that 48 also on little bounces, but what I'm trying to do is essentially be at no risk and look for money. That's what I'm doing right now. AI is another name that I could look at now. Now it's going for the breakout look. I'm going to still go for it, just smaller size, and see what I can get. All right, let's see if I can get 34s here. 34.20s, it might be what I have to go out for. Would love to get around the 34s here on the quick pullback. Looks good here for the run here. We'll see if we actually get the run. Let's take a look at the Qs here. It's starting to come back to the VWAP. Now 500 is going to be a big spot for me to look for any kind of pullback into that spot. A breakdown below that would be a little bit dangerous there, but definitely this AI has been built up. Now it needs to kind of take the 34.50s and run. So of course we got out of this one earlier, willing to get back in it here. If I do get in it, I need to hold right off this low, this 33.84. All right, here's that attempt down here, and the Qs are coming right back up here. So now is my attempt. Do I want to take the shot? It's now or never. All right, just took it there on the 94s here, and I just took only 100 shares there just to see if it starts to come back through the 34s, and then I'll add. But just keeping an eye also on my VIX. The good thing, though, is on my VIX trade, I have a stop place there on break even and target profit down towards like $600. So I don't need to stress too much about that trade. Just need to focus on AI and nail it. I'll be bringing in Chris in just a second here, guys. Let's see if I can at least get an ad here on AI, and then I can go ahead and we can talk a little trade ideas. And this is a perfect time to have a good scanner, right? Because the truth is we're starting to see a turn in the market, and these are the times to definitely catch the scanner action. All right, back towards 33.95. Just looking for a 34 break to take a little bit more of an ad and then a swing here. Let's see if it goes for the 34. It goes 33.94s. Just looking for 34s literally to show up on the offer. Then I'll take it. There's 34s. Boom. Take it. Let's see what happens now. All right. So boom. Setting the risk here. It's not a crazy risk. I'm only going to risk about 89 here. And we'll look to see if it starts to push. Really around 34.40s, I could go for another ad and then take the real swing there. You can see the VIX jumping a little bit now towards 200. So I've talked about once I get to 300, I need to make sure that I'm securing profits. So I'm just looking for that move in just a second here. I'll be moving the stop loss into the green and making sure that I have what? Profits, baby. Got to pay ourselves along the way. All right, guys, that's going to do it at least for the trading action. I'm going to try to focus these and manage this, but we're going to go ahead and talk to a trader here, talk to Chris also, and talk a little bit of some trade ideas, scanners. Of course, the top of the top, the cream of the crop, right? Like I like to say, you always need to have what? And I talk about this all the time. You want to have tools in the tool belt that can help you find success, right? We're all just looking for success. We all want to get after it, but the truth is there's only really one way. Right. And I think that that's having the right tools that support yourself. Of course, I use different tools. You guys see me use different scanners, charting services. That's what I think is very important here. We'll see what happens. Let's go ahead. Let's bring in Chris V here and talk a little bit more about trade ideas. How we doing?
We're doing well. Thank you for having me on the show. Really appreciate it. I was enjoying watching a little risk management going on there. It's as important as anything.
Yeah. And like I always say, capital preservation first, right? And
that's exactly it. There's no substitute for that.
Yeah, no, you can't get rid of that, guys. So of course we'll keep doing a little bit of some trading action. Of course, Chris, if you'd like, you can share your screen at any moment. Just
Excellent.
tell us about maybe some scanners that are going out, maybe some of the action that you're seeing out there right now. We'll let you guys know. Did get stopped out there on the AI trades, 33.73s down 107 on that trade. Now still watching the VIX here to see if it's going to bounce off the VWAP, or will the Qs get above VWAP here and start to rock and roll. We'll find out. All right, Chris, I'm going to put your screen up here. And of course, guys, like always, if you guys have any question for Chris and trade ideas or scanners in general, here's your moment. So go ahead and drop in those questions. Chris, I'll let you lead and let us know a little bit more about what Trade Ideas really has to offer.
I appreciate the time. I appreciate the crowd being here, and please, everybody, don't be shy with the questions. Get those in, and make sure we get to them all. As you were just alluding to, that tool belt is so important, and at Trade Ideas, we try to tell people and make them understand that we are the shovel, we are the hammer, we're the nails, we're the sheetrock, we're the concrete. You have to decide how to pour that foundation and build the house with those tools. We can give you lots of guidance, and scanners can give you great ideas, but the risk management part of that is the hardest part for everybody to understand. And so that was why we wanted to come on and showcase a newer feature that we put out recently. We call our Trade Wave. And there's no system out there that's going to be perfect to tell you what to buy, sell, hold, and do, but there's certainly tools that are now being created that can help you start to formulate your own risk plans. And that's a new feature that we call our Trade Wave here. So if you're looking at my screen here, and I'm going to expand the charts a little bit. I've got a lot going on. We can go over different things.
And if at any moment you want to highlight something in the chart there, I can also just make the chart full screen for you. So just let me know, and we could also just kind of move back and forth. I know they want to see our pretty faces, but I'm sure they want to see the scanners more. But
absolutely. So what we have here, and I've got a drawing tool. Let me get that loaded as well. And you were talking about AI, so I thought I'd put AI up here to come into this with, and I've got a 5-minute chart and a daily chart. And so this tool, it will put a buy and put a buy in real time and a sell in real time on any chart in any time frame on any stock. And so, once in a while we get the pushback in the sense, well, this could be in hindsight, but the idea here is I'm looking at a stock and I'm already interested in it. Where would have been an entry, a buy that we're looking at here? Where would have been a sell? We're looking at back here like that. And if we hover over those icons, there's going to be some different things that come on here. You can see them on a daily chart as well for time frame. They don't coincide. They're for the time frames that you're looking at. Just a little bit of background on the indicator itself. It's an EMA crossover and cloud, and there's some volume metrics that we kind of keep secret on the back end here too. Just to make an attempt to keep out, I don't want to call any stock junk, but the stocks that people are probably less interested in. Some of that becomes a little subjective. So, it's not that the volumetrics are turned way up high on this, but it's just to maybe get a little delay in it. The other part of this, and the other part of any kind of trading, I think anybody that's been doing this long enough, has any kind of CMT background or any other kind of background in trading, we're trend followers, right? We're trend followers on a 1-minute chart or a 5-minute chart, a 1-day chart, a 4-hour chart, whatever that we're doing, we're following trends. That's the other thing that this item or this tool does here. It tries to point us out a change in trend, because in trend following, we want to be as early as we can in when we believe the trend is in our favor, and when we be out as early as we can when we believe the trend is no longer in our favor. And so something like this tool here, like I said yesterday, it looked like the crossover happened about here. To get the signal more closer into here as it's looking for some volume to confirm that, and it moves nicely. We don't have to get it right there though, right? We can start looking at different areas in this cloud where we may find some support and resistance to try to keep that trend. If we were in this, just for example, again, just kind of banging on AI here, if we were in this on the earlier side of the signal, you then use the cloud and say, well, the cloud is breaking down now. Is that something I want to be holding on to, and letting that profit evaporate like that? So, again, where the tool belt, as you were saying before, or the nails, the hammer, the sheetrock, the concrete. How you want to build your house is completely up to you. But I think, the easiest part of trading is going on a web search and finding, oh, I need some kind of tools, and then getting a list of 100 tools to use in trading, right? That's easy. That's the easy part. How do I use those tools? How do I then come up with a trading plan while I'm inside of those tools? That's the part that I know I struggled with. I still have my moments like anybody else. And I think that's the part that anybody that's new to trading struggles with, to understand that trading it's not just, I want to trade stocks and buy and sell them. It's about managing risk. And a tool like this can certainly help you create your own risk management while giving you quality ideas to look at. So I'd take a pause here and see if any comments came in that we should be answering, or if you've got any other questions for me at the moment here.
Yeah, I talk about it all the time. I think at the end of the day, it's all about trying to find the things that kind of play to your strategies, right? If you need fast action things, then yeah, you're going to want the scanners to be the fastest that you can available, right? And then for those kind of morning traders, right? I talk about strategies all the time that have to do more with scanner base, and the most important thing with that is you want to have also an ability to see things clearly, right? There's a lot of scanners that get very confusing, where you can't even understand what's going on. I love the kind of the race map and things like that. Those all kind of things can help. I also like for trade ideas, you can kind of build your own strategies and do things like that. And then having things that just are telling you the stocks that you have on a specific criteria, right? And a better specific criteria than just gainers, right? That's the other thing, right? Where you see newer traders come in and they're just like, oh, so I just look at the gap scanner, right? Well, that's just one part of it, right? And I think that that's the important thing, is learning what is it you're looking for. So sometimes I talk about, let's say, percentage change in 5 minutes, right? And comparing that with a stock that's up, let's say 50, 60%. Now I'm talking about a stock that is not only moving for the day, but now moving now. And so that's when you're going to be able to use things like a scanner, especially to catch moments like that.
You hit so many things there that I should have been taking notes, because each one of those things that you said, they sparked an idea in my mind of things to talk about and kind of show off in this here. I know the title of the show was, NVIDIA's earnings, or trading NVIDIA's earnings. So it just, funny enough that you mentioned that here, and, my scatterbrain will have me kind of all over the place with some of the things you just said. This stuff gets me excited. I don't have a background in finance whatsoever. And I think Trade the Pool is similar to trade ideas in the sense that, we get a lot of folks that are looking to break out of their mundane job, whatever it happens to be. They're tired of their boss. They're tired of whatever they've been doing for their life. They want to break into trading. Finance excites them for whatever reason. So we see a lot of people like that. And we see all sorts of walks of those people. Some of those people that are realistic and want to learn and put the hard work in. Other people that want, kind of an easy street. And those that know there is no easy street, but there are paths to make the street a little smoother, right? And so the tools itself are one of those things that can make that street, easier, whether it's just your charting platform or some combination of charting and scanning. And so you're talking about the movers and the races and things like that. I wanted to bring in and tie in the NVIDIA title of this with something that's going on right now. So you've got a 2x leveraged NVIDIA fund here, right? NVD. And, clearly NVIDIA gapped down and we got a big turnaround on it overall. And this scan here that I've created, I call it relative strength from the open, because if something gaps down and it starts to reverse, that could sometimes, especially if we get that same thing going on in the market, be a very powerful pattern to be looking at here. It's actually one of my more favorite day trading patterns. That doesn't happen every single day, right? We have to recognize that certain opportunities only present themselves at certain times. Today happens to lead itself to that with NVIDIA. And, we could see that here in this 2x levered ETF. And we could see it here on what I call my relative strength from the open race. So what I've done with this race, if you bear with me, I'm going to open up the base behind it and how it works. And what I did is, very simple scanner here. And I asked this scanner, I told it, I want to find stocks in my wheelhouse of $2 to $30. I want to see stuff early, but maybe not too early. And this is where technical analysis and trading can become subjective. What's early and what's liquid to one person, maybe not to another. But to put a minimum cap here at 400,000 shares traded on the day. Now, look, 400,000 shares traded at 2 p.m. Eastern isn't very much. 400,000 shares traded at 9:45 Eastern, not so bad, right? So, there is some leeway on where the 400,000 comes in, but I want to see it, And then while I don't use Bollinger Bands in my scanning, in my charting, having met John Bollinger, always like to name drop that one, and spend some time talking with him and picking his brain, at the core, Bollinger Bands are supposed to be a momentum indicator, actually. Now, a lot of people like to play them to a revision to the mean. He had intended them a break of the top band, momentum upside, break of the lower band, momentum downside. I am oversimplifying a bit, but that's the short and skinny of how that works. So I said, I want to see stuff that's near that top band that may be on the verge of breaking out. And then I add another volume qualifier in here just to make sure we're getting things that are trading actively. Something could be trading a few million shares on the day, but it's just trading huge blocks every 20, 30, 40 minutes. That's not something that an active day trader is going to be interested in. And so just those couple of things. And then I said, when you find me stocks that meet that criteria, let's sort them, right? What's going to be the most interesting? And for me, the ones that are up from the open are going to be the most interesting, right? And so now I have that list of stocks, and that's what that looks like right here in this grid. For me personally, looking at that grid, it's just kind of mundane and boring. Other people love it. And, that's where, beauty is in the eye of the scan holder, right? And there's nothing wrong with taking in the data that looks like this. But I said to myself, the races give me an opportunity to see what's moving, and maybe I can dynamically look at how it's moving a little differently. And there's a lot of ways we can do that. So inside the configure of any scan, all these filters that exist within here, there's a couple of hundred of them. Some will be more valuable to folks than others will be, but I could define how something is moving. And so you mentioned, moving in 5 minutes. And so we happen to have a change in 5 minutes filter, both in dollars and percent. Some people want dollars. I think a majority do want percent, but either way, we've got it for you both. And you can then race on something like that and say, all right, we've got that list of stocks that are up the most from the open. We've got some volume qualifiers in there, right? And now, how are they moving right now relative to each other? And that's where the race comes in. And inside the race configure, if I look at the race setup here, I personally just have it set up as changed from the open as a total accumulation amount. That's what I personally want to see. But I could easily add the 5 minute column in there and swap it to that. And that's what this race is doing right now in real time. It's showing me what is moving strongest relative to each other from the open, just like that. The next part of this all becomes analysis paralysis. I don't know about anybody else, but when I first became a subscriber to Trade Ideas, I had no idea what I was doing in the market, no idea what I was doing with the software, anything like that. There's bells and whistles and dings, and stocks are just going off everywhere. And I'm like, how do I begin to dig into this and make a decision? Well, the races make that a little more easy for me, because I said races, I just want to see the top 10 stocks that are on there, because the bottom 10, and generally, probably the bottom, you can put up to 20 stocks on this, but probably the bottom 13 or so, just not going to be very dynamically interesting to me and what I'm looking for anyways. So why bother having them on there, taking up bandwidth on my computer, taking up bandwidth in my brain? That simply we don't need to be doing. And so we can get and see moves that are going on, just like what we're seeing on CRNC right here. The next part is we could set those races on a timer. I happen to do 3 minute races. The reason I used to do 3 minute races, I used 15-minute charts for my intraday trading. And so 5 3 minute races equal to 15-minute bar. It was just kind of the way that I was going about it at that time. I've since reduced to the 5 minute chart, but I decided to leave the races at 3 minutes. It hasn't negatively impacted me in any way. And it's just kind of continued to work itself out like that. And then, on the side here, you can see this winner circle, and we can see that CNR, it's won 5 races now. So that means this didn't just show up on the scanner, and it may have been here on the lower end of things, not winning even before it started winning. So it's been in focus for quite a while today. Plenty of opportunities to be looking at it and trading it. SURG, we're going to look at that here now, and I'm going to surmise that it's going to be something similar as we load, and here we go, the same thing. Now, obviously, it's now pulled back off of that spike that's like that. But the next thing that the race does, it creates a watch list throughout the day, right? I happen to create this layout specific for what we're going over here today, just to showcase some of these things. But had I been running this all day long like I normally do, it continues to tally these winners all over here on the checkered flag and creates a very nice watch list where I can then right-click a chart and say, you know what? SURG is pulling back now, but if it recaptures that VWAP, I'm going to put a price alert near where that VWAP is, and then I can be alerted. And I don't have to keep it in focus all day long. You know, oh, I got to check the chart again. I got to check the chart again. Nope. Price alert's there for me. If it happens, if it's going to happen, price alert's going to jump out and say, hey, we're here. We've arrived. What are we doing now? So, you know, these are the kinds of things that, you know, how do we leverage the software? How do we leverage the tools? We can't tell you everything to do, but here's some great ideas behind it, and now take it and make it your own.
I 100% believe in that. And that's what it's all about, guys. It's about like getting access to a database, right? An encyclopedia, and then how you're going to use it, right, is the important part, right? So I think that what you really need to kind of do is really dig in. And that's what you're seeing right now, is dig in and understanding of how am I going to put this into play? Well, I will let you guys know that as we were talking about NVD, I went with NVDL. So I'm long on NVDL now, and we can talk about some things here and maybe take a look at how the trend is starting to change a little bit in the market as we start to see the Qs start to finally bounce a little bit. And I talked about how that first hour in the day seems to be really tough for day traders as of late. We'll see if this can actually hold and start to bounce back with Nvidia. But one of the things with scanners that I think is very important is also kind of talking with other traders, which I think is so important, right? I see this all the time on, like, let's say X, Twitter, all my Twitter people out there. And it's really all about trying to determine criteria to find the A+ and B+ setups, right? Because that's all we're trying to do, is trying to distinguish between what's a C and D and an A and B, right? Because if I could just trade the A and B setups, that already is going to get me in more of a probabilistic chance of getting to success, right? And that's all we're trying to do, is get the math on our side. So part of that is just finding quality trades, right? And that's what a scanner essentially is trying to help you do. It's not just telling you that a stock is moving, it's telling you that this is the setup that you like. And so for traders out there that feel really subjective and not knowing where should I go trading, these are the types of things that can help you. You want to be more objective. You want to use math to tell you what is doing well. And this is exactly that. Would you agree, Chris?
100%. And, you know, I can't speak for anybody else out there, but we have a lot of pre-made what we call channels within the software, right? So, you know, we have a gappers channel, we have a pre-market channel, we have what we call an explosive winners channel, we have swing trade channel. So we have a lot of stuff that's set up out there, and it's not dynamic for everyone, but it's or for any one person, but it's dynamic for everyone. And you can get into these channels, start to open up these scans, look at how the settings are. We have help pages. You could then look up definitions of filters and things that are in there and say, oh, now I understand why you'd use something like this to find this kind of setup. That makes sense. And then you could take it that next level and say, I like the way they're doing that there, but maybe if I added this, or if I changed this value, that's more conducive to what I'm looking for and what I'm doing. You know, one of the other things, you know, just as more trader talk, and I don't think it gets talked about enough, and it was probably the hardest thing for me to learn and realize, is that the trader we want to be is not necessarily the trader we are. I had to learn very quickly over 2 years that I am not someone who can get into super fast moving, low float scalping kinds of stuff. That's like, you know, the real sexy in and out, and I'm going to make, you know, bang in and out of 5 minutes of worth of trading of this stock, $1,000 here and another $200 there. And, you know, you see these things and all the flashing stuff that people share. That was not me. It's not my personality. I like to methodically think of things over, let some setups come to me. And I had to learn that over time. The trader I wanted to be was not the trader that I was. And it was just that simple. It's not that I don't day trade, but I found my first successes in swing trading. After I started having some successes in swing trading, I started to look back and say, all right, what are the things I'm doing in swing trading that's working? and how do those relate to all the things that I was doing in day trading that was not working. And I was able to kind of mesh the two so that I could get some success in day trading. I still prefer the swing trading over day trading, but having both those arrows in your quiver, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's just trying to figure out what's my personality and how can I leverage that into the market, into scanning, into charts, and into trading. To dovetail off of that, what do I trade? What am I looking for? I talked about this, like I said, I'm very excited about this trade wave here. We have a couple of scans that we're still fine tuning, but I'm kind of showing them off for one of the first times here, actually, because it's not something we've been really actively promoting while we're fine tuning them. But we have some what we call trade wave scans here, and they're buys for the buys and daily here. So again, if you're one of those people that's still trying to figure out who am I and what am I, you get into the software, open up a scan like this. We got the trade wave buy 5 minute. There's some things in here. We could look at WVE, got a buy signal here at 10:25. All right. And we could say, not enough volume in it for me, regardless that it's made an okay move off of that signal, versus we could look at something like, SDOW here, much more volume, much more liquid here. Right. And we could look at that and in reverse do that here. So the same is we do the same thing on the daily chart. There's some different columns and ratings of different things that are in there. And again, you can then say to yourself, all right, I've got a starting point. I've got the beginnings of the outline of the blueprint. How am I filling in the rest of the blueprint with all those things? And so, while I was first showing off the relative strength from the open, that's more day trading related here. There are plenty of things that we can do with swing trading. I know that Trade the Pool offers both funding for day and swing trading. And so it's one of those things that if you've been out there and you've been struggling with the day trading, maybe think about it for a minute and how and why you're struggling with the day trading, and ask yourself, is swing trading a little better for you? If you're hanging on every, move and every tick, and you're just into all that price movement intraday like that, so you may find swing trading a little bit tougher for yourself. And that's, the kinds of things that we have to recognize and ask ourselves as traders. We're psychologists. We're our own psychologists while we're doing this.
Yeah. And I think it's very important to find what works. Like you said, personality is going to be important. And then after that, it's find what can give you the edge in the math because you're that type of trader, right? So like, let's say swing trading, right? I always talk about it. Swing trading is my bread and butter also. I can do day trading because I've learned day trading, but it doesn't mean that it's my bread and butter. If I'm going to go to something that I feel I can get a bigger capital into, right? Bigger accounts, it's swing trading. And why? Because I can go into lower capital intensive trades and look for bigger swings of prices, right? With that being said, I can keep the risk more in a managed state and look more to see daily trends and weekly trends, monthly trends. And what I'm really looking to do is get an edge in what? An intermarket analysis, looking into what sectors are hot, what industries are hot, and then going to the stock. And I think that's what, of course, Trade Ideas can help out with. There's so many different areas where you can learn into specific areas, industrials, and even just like the ETF window, right? Just looking into that can give you really insights of what's moving that day, right? For day traders, I think this is also very important. A lot of times I look back in day trading and I realize, man, if I could just trade into what's green today, like let's say from the open, industrials have been green about 0.61 today, and change in the last hour, it's still up 0.12. That tells me that there's a lot of names in that space that are green, right? And so maybe I want to be trading some of those to the upside, right? Intermarket analysis and using that is a different way. You can use it as a day trader. You can use it as a swing trader. There's edge there. And I think it's very important to look at things like this.
I 100%. And, it's so funny. You mentioned the ETF sector list. So I brought one over that I keep up, and it's about 70 some odd ETFs that are in here. I brought it in the heat map, tree map form that's right here. I could duplicate this out. Let me duplicate it. And, we could also look at it. This is one of those times I personally don't mind a grid, because I can see a little more with the grid of all these here and see what's really winning, what's really losing, because there's some limitations with the tree and heat map. If you want to see, right now it's set up to see the winners, the heat map. We could set it up to see the losers, so there's some limitations with that there. But, tying it in together with what you just said about the swing trading, you can take smaller position sizes so that when it turns against you, it doesn't turn against you as hard. And, something that hurt my feelings a long time ago was, I was following along different people on Twitter, different trading personalities, and you never know who's disingenuous and who's not. It's tough,
Yeah.
And
really
something that someone had said that really stung me at the very beginning of it is, you don't see a lot of wealthy day traders. What you see is a lot of wealthy buy and hold people. And I was like, all right, well, I wanted to be a wealthy day trader, and why are you knocking that on? That doesn't feel very nice to hear, is what I thought to myself.
Yeah.
But then I started to think about,
take it as a personal attack really quickly.
That's
right?
exactly it. And now, mind you, this was probably within the first year of me even attempting to trade whatsoever.
Yeah.
So in all honesty, I didn't know anything. I still didn't know anything at that point. But tying it in with the sectors, all of a sudden, we're in the third year of a tremendous bull market right now. And regardless of what everybody wants to tell you on the TV and anywhere else, I think it's important to curate that data that you're taking in. And if we look at the data, just pure data here, and we're looking at something like this sector analysis that I have, and I sort it in position and range like I have right now. Look how many of these are just green on the year right now. I understand that, inflation is high around the world, and, we constantly see different layoffs in all different sectors, and, the government, revises their numbers for all these things every month. And we could be angry about all those things, and we could be upset about those things, or we can leverage data in a platform like this and say, all right, well, all those things may or may not be true. But what is also true is the market and its biggest participants obviously do not care about any of that whatsoever. And we could see it from a top-down look right here. We hear about, the financial sector is weak, or, the collapse of whatever that, First Republic a couple of years ago, and then we go and start looking at some of these things, and we say, yeah, well, it collapsed a while ago, but now all of a sudden we're way breaking out, if I actually look at the chart. And here we have it on this position and range in the year, and look how strong the banks are, look how strong. And this ties into, we're in this AI bubble, right? And people talk about bubbles like they're a bad thing. I think bubbles are the most wonderful thing that ever. Just don't be on the wrong side of that bubble, right? If you have risk management, if you have good risk management, you will not be on the wrong side of that bubble. And I mean, just think about these epic runs that things are going on. And so it's like, cloud computing, this ETF. I mean, look what it has done off of this low back here in the late summer, right? And just absolutely exploded up. And, we could see it in so many different stocks, and we can scan for it in so many different ways here. I could literally go on about this forever, literally forever. And it's the stuff that, this is the stuff that gets me excited as
as a trader overall, right? And I think that, one of the things is, as you get and you become more and more of a kind of a studier of the market versus just a trader, right? I think that that's when you start to really kind of study these things. And I think what's very important, and just to kind of give perspective there, guys, like I always say, capital preservation at its finest, right? So bouncing back was down about like 3 something there. Just made a 5.16 trade on NVDA. Just sold it. Why? It hit the top Bollinger Band. Right there. So at that point, the momentum is slowing down for me, and I could expect sometime maybe a pullback. Does it mean that it's coming back down to 75.20? No, but I'm seeing the momentum slow down on the tape. I'm seeing the Bollinger Band tell me that's a little bit extended. I'm taking the cash and putting myself back into the green. Now I'm up 175 instead of being down 3 something, and I can take another trade if I want to, or I could just end the day green. This is where I think it's very important as a day trader to know when to hit the brake pedal and when to hit the gas pedal. Early on today, It was more, oh man, I'm down big. I got to start hitting the brake pedal. Now I get this going in my direction. Now I have some money to play with. I could either play with what I call the house's money, play with that 175 to see if I'm really starting to get in tune, or looking for things like this. Look at this. This is an alert on our platform, Chris, I will say, on our platform.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it alerting me? It's alerting me because this is a trend that I'm looking for, which is XRT, Black Friday trade coming into play.
Love
XRT.
the retail. Love the retail.
Look at that. Look at that push now towards that 78.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about it yesterday, how it could start doing that turn right before Black Friday. Then by the time Black Friday comes along, you know, you're seeing it up by like 81, and then it's hard to trade because it's on the breakout versus the recollect on the 9 EMA. So I always look at things like this, and then I start to take a look at what are some trends that I've been talking about. Used cars is definitely one. KMX, I'll give you one, Chris, to kind of keep out for. I think this one's a really massive play because why? Because Carvana's making a big move, and I've talked about how in this environment, what we're going to start seeing is that people don't buy new cars, they buy used cars. Why? Because the price is just too much, man. Your middle class cannot afford $1,000 car month payment. I don't care who you are. It just can't happen, right? Like, I just think about it. I'm paying like 3 something, and I'm okay with that because that's what it used to be, right? Would I be okay with 2?
And it wasn't that long ago, it was that.
Yeah. Would I be okay with 3 times that amount? That starts to be dangerous there, right? So this is why I think it's so important to understand what we're talking about today and scanning and catching trends. And the way that you do this a lot of the times is going to be using scanners and then doing what I like to do, which is like talking about what's the story that's out there, what's being fed in the media, and then what's being fed into the data, right? And seeing when those align. Right. And then that's going to help me. So one thing that I've been seeing is on the XRT, there has been some names that have been holding this up. Like, let's say GME that has been going up. And a lot of people are like, well, why is GME going up? I want to short it. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I don't want to short this because I can see the amount of volume coming in this and the strength that's coming in this. And it's a part of the XRT. So things like this, I start to catch and I'm like, okay, well, this is holding it up. What are the other names that need to come in here to start seeing this really start to climb? So I'll be watching to see trends change in those Black Friday names. And then I start to try to see the story matching with the data. So what could I look for? I could put all these on a scanner, right? On trade ideas, and then be looking in the next week and putting a race map. What's winning the race? And I want to go and looking at those names, right, Chris? This is a good way of maybe trading ideas with story, with some math behind it.
100%. And, you know, the other thing that's beautiful that you could do too is, you know, we're in earnings season right now, right? Obviously, some of the big names are reporting. People also forget that there are thousands of companies reporting, that not just your Apples and your Nvidias and your Walmarts and your Targets and things like that. Although to tie in the retail side of things, you had Target and Walmart report yesterday. Walmart blowing the doors off of things. Blowing the doors off of things so much that Target's, you know, let's call it fail. And still when you're making that many billions of dollars, I don't consider it a fail, but, you know, for the analysis consensus, obviously it didn't do what they expected at Target. But we still have all the Black Friday stuff to come in, as you mentioned. We still have all the rest of the holiday season to come in, as you mentioned. And then not just the holiday, but the end of year cramming in, I need this, that, and the other thing. Whatever it happens to be. And, you know, both Walmart and Target, you know, an interesting thing to point out is they both not just fall into retail as in buying gifts and things you might need around the house. They're both grocers too. And how much people are spending on food this time of year. You know, you have all these, you know, in the US, Friendsgiving this, Friendsgiving that, and then holiday party after holiday party, folks hosting. Well, who are going to be the purveyors of those foods, you know? A lot of people are going to these big box stores for a lot of those things. And so you have kind of a two-end story here pushing along that XRT trade that you're saying. Then you start to bring in your GMEs, right? You start to bring in your smaller grocers that are traded that are as part of that. All these other items in there. And then, like you said, we could put them on a list. You could create a watch list of that. You could race them. You could just put it as a data table. However you want to do that, that's entirely up to you. There's so many ways. One other thing I wanted to touch on here, when you're talking about taking the money on the NVDL, and you're talking about it moving to the upper band, and we're getting a little extended there. I like the beautiful part about all this and how technical now. I just love technical analysis. And for my random walk hypothesis fans, I just always like to point this out because I'm not a random walk person. I am, an aspiring CMT, level 1 done and level 2 on its way.
Don't worry, I'm on the same boat, Chris.
So I've got the trade wave here, and inside that trade wave, you're going to see it's really faint, but there's a red line that's inside that because I like an 8 EMA on my intraday charts for all time frames. And so as you were getting out of that trade, it was banging right into that 8 EMA, which is another spot I would have said to myself, this is a good spot to start to exit, whether I exit 50% of the trade, 75% of the trade, or 100% of the trade. And if we can get over and close a candle or two above it without it running away from me, I could then maybe decide to add some of that house money back into that trade and ride that to the next. For me, I'd be starting to look towards the VWAP next on that next upper side. That's my personal way of doing it. And so for anybody that's out there thinking, how would a trader address these things? You were showing a way you were addressing it, and I'm showing a way I'm addressing it. And it's not like they're far off from each other, and there's nothing random about these things. Why is there nothing random about these things? And why is technical analysis work? Because price has memory, because people have memory. That's how this works. Because at the end of the day, we could talk about all the algos in the world and the systems and they're gaming it and they're running stops and all those things like that. And we could argue all day long whether those things do or do not happen. But we also know is happening is people are using 1 minute, 3 minute, and 5 minute charts. Huge numbers on those intraday trading, right? They are using EMAs 8 and 9 and 13 are extremely popular. And so you're going to see the same things play out on these numbers over and over again. Now, the next step becomes who's going to be first to exit, who's going to be first to enter, and in a hurry up, give it to me kind of world. That's where we have to be nimble, especially on things that can really turn on a dime like NVDL. I mean, look at the price range that it's got going on today. It's got over a $10 price range today. So this is what I'd call a great trading vehicle. And if you have a set of indicators you become comfortable with reading and understanding, this is the kind of thing you could bang out trades in and out. And we're not talking about banging out $1,000 and $2,000 and $3,000 trades at a shot, but if you could bang out $100 here, $100 there, that stuff adds up over the year.
Yeah, it definitely does. And it definitely adds up. I mean, at the end of the day, just trying to keep it simple, right? And I think that's one thing that you got to do. We'll see if the market actually comes back. We're getting around 10:54, so we'll start wrapping it up here, Chris. Any last mention, Chris? I'll go ahead and let you do it. And if you have any link that you want to drop maybe in the comments to the right-hand side, you can just hit that and it'll go ahead and drop it there. If not, I can just drop in a standard Trade Ideas link. But if you have any special link you'd like to share.
Well, I think the best link, and if you have it, otherwise I'll find it in 1 second here. But I can't speak highly enough about what Trade the Pool does for traders. One of the hardest parts for trading is once you start to, because you could paper trade and you could start to get there. And while, paper trading doesn't necessarily equate to live trading. If you can't make money on paper, you can't make money in real life. It's just that simple right off the bat. But once you get to that level, if you're someone like I am or was, not that I've got some great huge account now, but I have a little bit of breathing space after a few years. Trade the Pool offers something that's unique that you don't find elsewhere. There's almost nobody else offering to fund people trading US stocks. Yeah. And so what Trade the Pool offers here, to give you a chance to get a funded account from them, to prove your strategy, to prove yourself and get a funded account. And while doing that, they're not even waiting for you to get funded. They're going to offer you trade ideas, right? They're just going to offer it to you right out the gate. And then all of a sudden, if you can prove that your system works, if you can add to your system, improve on your system with some scanning and charting like what we offer here in Trade Ideas, you're just putting yourself that much further ahead of the game, because one of the hardest things is being funded, right? If you think about this is, when I do other live streams or when I talk to other people, that are, my neighbors or whoever, my cousins, aunts and uncles that talk about it, I said, listen, trading isn't a job, it's a business, right? When you have a business idea, you go to the bank and say, hey, bank, I've got this great idea for a business. I need a loan, right? And the bank will say, that's awesome. Well, can you explain your business model to me and how it will make money and how we'll be safe, giving you that loan? And then you say, well, I don't really have an idea, but I don't know how it'll work, but I've got this great idea and we'll make money. And the bank's going to say, yeah, denied, right? Yeah. Well, without something like Trade the Pool, you have to become your own bank, right? And decide to give yourself your own hard-earned money to put out there and risk in the market. Trade the Pool's offering you a chance to not even have to do that, right? Now you can leverage Trade the Pool, their funds, prove yourself, get funded, and then all of a sudden, everything you make is gravy off of that for yourself, while Trade the Pool is offering you unbelievable tools. So, Trade the Pool is personally one of my favorite partners. CEO Michael, when we first met with him, I just knew right away that Michael was a straight shooter. He wasn't talking about, oh, everybody's going to be making all this money and, we'll be driving Lambos and buying, big condos all over the world. So, he talked about the struggles of trading and wanting to help traders and showcase how realistically this stuff could be done. So, that's kind of, what I'm looking at here. So, I have the, I have our partners page linked if anybody wants there, for Trade the Pools up on there. They're one of our premier partners. They're who I'm going to point to, time and time again. So I put it in the private chat there. I didn't have a way to.
Gotcha. No worries. I'll put it up there. And also, we did get a question in the chat. I'll help them out at least. Future's asking, how do I sign up for it? I want it. Well, it's right there in your trading criteria, right? When you go into your trading area, when you open your account, right? Click on your account and you're going to see on the top right, you're going to see this thing called partners, right? And so that's what you want to be looking at right here. Click that partners right here. That's where you can get those extras, right? Of course, you need the certain accounts to go ahead and get it. But I mean, hey, it's nothing like using it and learning from it, right? And when you get in there, of course, reach out if you have any questions, right? Because that's what they're there for. Also, the team at Trade Ideas will help you best use it, right? And that's what it's all about. So Chris, thank you for joining it today. And definitely, I want you guys to go ahead and check out Trade Ideas. You guys have seen me use some of the scanners and show them off before. I always love showing them off because truly when I started trading, and this has been years and years, right? 2016, right? That's the scanner that was there. That's what they were using. That's what I was using, guys. And it's still the best, right? And that's what I can tell you guys. If I want the speed, and I'm as honest as it gets out there, guys, speed, Trade Ideas. If I'm okay with going a little less, there's other partners that we have that also have some advantages that can get you there. But I also know where the milliseconds can make a difference, right? If you're that type of trader that you need those reactions, especially the day traders, the scalpers, all those out there, I think there's no other better option than Trade Ideas. So thank you for joining me today, Chris. I really appreciate it. And hey, you're always welcome back, my friend. The door's open.
Excellent. Excellent. Maybe we'll do this again shortly.
All right, man. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. You as well.
One,
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. And you guys can keep up with Chris. There's an event going on right now in the Discord, guys. So don't go anywhere. This will move over to the Discord side of things. And Tim's going to be going on with Chris also. So I know that Chris will be tagging up Tim in the Discord. They'll be doing an event there. So if you guys want to keep going with and learning more about Trade Ideas, of course, get to our Discord. And like I tell you guys, the Discord is where you can find the community that really is trying to trade, right? Continuously trade, keep going throughout the day, putting trade ideas. There's so many different channels in there that can help you guys get to the success you're looking for. All right, guys, going back to the trading action, I am seeing the cues and everything kind of slowly climb. It's just slowly the climb back. And I talked about how lately it's been a wash out the open and then slowly climbing back. And that's exactly what we're seeing. If I had all day to trade, I'd probably go back to AI and maybe play with some Nvidia. But right now, I'm going to let you guys know, hey, I got to wrap up the day, right? Got to go take care of the boys. But hey, it was a great trading day overall. Was able to bounce back on NVDL, green on the day, pushing forward the main account back. And to put it in perspective, I had a really tough week in the main account last week. It was really on danger to going in, kind of deleting the extra buying power. And I'm right back to pretty much break even. So that tells me more and more that, yeah, we can always bounce back. Got to keep things in perspective, try to keep the losses in perspective, and keep pushing, guys. Like always, sign up for the competition account. If you're not already signed up, I don't know what you're waiting for. So go ahead and sign up. You guys see it at the top. First prize is, of course, that extra buying power. Get after it, guys. Go get that money. Nvidia now starting to pull back. What I'd like here is a pull back towards 142 and then a move right back, but we'll see what happens. It's back and forth on the day right now. Definitely starting to see some of these stocks come back, and it's been a little bit of a chop, right? The Qs came right back up. The VIX getting me out on that 49, and it just did this little pop towards like 49.20s, and I was taking a trade there. I even took a little bit of a hit there while I was talking to Chris there. That was right here at the 49.11 spot, got me out for an 87 loss, but it was right there, right? Like that was on this pop here. Could have easily caught that trade back down 47. It would have been $1.40 on that. So, hey, could have been up easily $600 to $1,000 today. And that's what I'm going to keep doing, battling on the sizing. And today you guys learned a lot more about the scanners that Trade Idea has to offer. That's going to do it for me. Of course, Money Mitch. You guys can keep up with me at Money Mitch BZ, at Money Mitch _TTP. So if you guys want to get my Twitter, I feel like too many of you guys are missing out on some of the posts that I do. And the big part there is that I'm just trying to give you guys what I see before I get to the market, because a lot of times that's what happens, right? I get to the market, and by the time I give you guys the playbook, stocks are already moving. And I don't like to cherry pick, so I like to put out some information there on my Twitter. I throw it up there, and if you're not following our Twitter, I don't know what you're waiting for. So I'll give you guys that link also while you're already there giving me a follow. If you're not following Trade the Pool already, well, definitely go ahead and follow them. All right, guys, I'll bring it over and wrap it up here. Like always, guys, keep battling out there. It's not just one way to win. We'll keep pushing to see what else we can come up with, but that's going to do it for us today. Trade the Pool. Money Mitch, I'm out.